sages of old. Suttas from the Sutta Nipata, translated from the Pali by Venerable Jnanadeepa Mahathera. First Preface. This translation was made for the benefit of those who want to make the Sutta Nipata a source of inspiration for their daily practice, especially those who live in the forest and want to follow in the steps of the Munis or sages of old. Probably only those who have fully familiarized themselves with the Sutta Pitaka in the Pali will be able to make sense of some parts of it. This translation follows the order of lines as given in the Pali text, and to a large extent at least, the order of the main words. This has been done for two purposes. Firstly, to make it easier to read together with the Pali, one can take it line by line. Secondly, because the order of the words is important for understanding the meaning, important things tend to come first. Further, the translation is intended to give renderings that are close to the root meaning of words. Since this also is important for the meaning, the result is that the order of words and sentences of normal English is often changed, and also that new words have been coined. No translations of the Sutta Nipata can ever be definite. Even while translating this much, the rendering of certain words underwent change. Example, Dhamma, Kappa, Usada, Uppati, Upaya. In the case of Dhamma, I even chose to leave it untranslated in the later suttas. In the end, we have to return to our own private translation in accordance with the understanding we have gradually built up in practice. Then the need for a translation will come to an end, and we will prefer to take it in straight from the Pali, in recitation as well as in reflection. Nevertheless, it is useful from time to time to investigate the meaning in one's preferred thinking language. The translator from a forest kuti in Sri Lanka. Vassa, June 2017. Second Preface. The main part of this translation was finished as a whole. It contained everything except the Sabbiya Sutta and Parayana. This later portion was added without checking it with the former part. If there is any further divergence in the choice of terms or in the free style of translation, it is due to that. Already in the first preface, the translator reserved his right to do so. And other forest kuti. Hemanta, January 2018. Attaka Vagga, Samyutta Nikaya 4. Kama. Kamang kamaya manassa tassa cetang samijjati adda piti mano hoti ladda macho yadicchati. If when a man is lusting for sensual pleasure, he succeeds in getting it, all joyful indeed he becomes, having got what he wanted. Tassa che kamayanassa chanda jatasya jantuno te kama parihayanti salla viddova ruppati. If while a person is lusting and full of desire, those sensual pleasures fall away from him, he gets afflicted as if pierced by a barb. Yo kame parivajjeti sappa sei seva pada siro somang visattikang loke sato samati vattati. Whoever avoids sensual pleasures as if the head of a snake with his foot, the sticky nature of the world, he mindfully passes over. Kettang vattung hiranyang va gavasang dasaporisang tiyo bandhu putu kame yo naro anugajjati. Fields and land or gold, cows and horses, slaves and servants, women and relations, various sensual pleasures. If for these a man has greed. Abala nang baliyannanti maddenetta nang parissaya tato nang dukkha manevanti namang binta nivodakang. They, though being powerless, overpower him. His surroundings crush him. Then misery enters into him, like water into a broken boat. Tasma jantu sada sato kamani parivajjaye te pahaya tare ogang navang sitvava paraguti. Therefore, a person always mindful should avoid sensual pleasures. Having abandoned them, he would cross the flood, like one who has gone to the far shore after bailing out the boat. Guhattaka number 2. The octad on the cave. Satto guhayang bahunabi janto tittang naro mohanasming pagaloha dure vivekahi tatha vido so kamahi loke nahi suppahaya. Imprisoned in a cave, covered over by much, the man stands who is immersed in delusion. Such a one is far indeed from seclusion, for sensual pleasures in the world are not easy to abandon. Ichcha nidana bhavasata baddha te duppa muncha nahi anya mokha paccha pure vapi apekha mana imeva kame purimeva jappang. Tied down to want, bound to the pleasure of existing, they are hard to free, not freeable by others, now looking behind, now looking ahead, they hanker now after these, now after the former pleasures. Kamesu giddha pasuta pamulaha avadaniya te visame nivitta dukkhupanita paridevayanti kingsu bhavissama ito chutase. Greedy, engrossed, infatuated with pleasures, they are incorrigible, entering upon an uneven path. Brought into misery, they lament. What shall we become when we fall away from this? Tasmahi sikketa ideva jantu yankinchi janya visamanti loke natassa hetu visamang charaya appang hidang jivitang ahudira. Therefore, a person should train himself in this way. Whatever he would come to know as uneven in the world, not for the sake of that should he practice unevenly. For short indeed is this life, the wise say. Passami loke paripandamanan pajang imang tanhagatang bhavesu hina nara machu mukhe lapanti avittanha se bhavaha vesu. I see in the world the trembling humankind, involved with craving for repeated existences, poor people who wail in the face of death, not freed of craving for various existences. Mama ite passata pandamane macheva apadake kina sote etampi disva amamo charaya bhavesu asatatti makubabbamano. See how they tremble in what they made mine, like fish in a pool after the flow has ceased. Having seen that one should live without mind-making, not forming attachment for existences. Ubosu ananattosu vinyeya chandang passang parinyaya ananu giddha yadanta garahi tada kubba mano na lipati ditta sutesu dhiro. Dispelling desire for both extremes, fully understanding contact without becoming greedy, not going that for which he would blame himself. A wise man does not get stuck in the seen and the heard. Sanyang parinya vitareya ogang pariggahesu muni nopalitta abbulla sallo charang appamatta nasing sati lokamimang paranchati. Fully understanding perception, he would cross the flood. The Muni, who is not stuck in possessions. With the barb pulled out, practicing diligently, he does not long for this world or the other. Duttaka 3. The octad on the corrupt. Vandanti ve dutta manapi eke atopi ve sacca mana vadanti vadancha jatang munino upeti tasma muni natti kilo kuhinchi. Though some will speak with a corrupt mind, some others will speak with an honest mind. But the debate thus arisen, the Muni does not engage in. Therefore, for the Muni, there is no bareness anywhere. Sakanghi dittang katamacca yeya chandanu nito ruchiya nivetta sayang samattani pakubba mano yatahi janeya tatha vadeya. How could one go beyond one's own view? If one is led by desire and preoccupied with one's likes, making one's own assumptions as one knows, so would one speak. Yo attano sila vatani jantu ananu putta cha paresa pava anariya dhammang kusala tamahu yo atumanang sayameva pava. The person who tells his own virtue and practice to others, even if unasked for, skillful ones will call one of ignoble nature, the one who by himself declares himself. Santavcha bhikkhu abhinipputatta itihanti silesu akatta mano tamariya dhammang kusala vadanti yassussada natti kuhinchi loke. But the calm monk, cool in his heart, not boasted, thus am I, regarding virtues, skillful ones will call one of noble nature, the one for whom there are no prominences. Pakappita sankhata yassa dhamma purakkata santi avivadata yadanti ni passanti anisansang tang nisito kuppaticca santi. He whose ideas are formed, constructed, and preferred, not having become purified, whatever he sees as an advantage in himself, he relies on that, a peace dependent on the shakable. Ditti nivesa nahi savati vatta dhammesu nichcheya samuggahitang tasma naro tesu nivesanesu nirassati adis saticca dhammang. View resorts are not easily overcome, assumed after evaluation of ideas. Therefore, a man among those resorts will reject an idea as he takes hold of another. Donassa hi natti kuhinchi loke pakappita ditti bhavaha vesu mayancha manancha pahaya dono sakena gaccheya anupayo so. For the cleansed one, there is nowhere in the world a formed view about various existences. Having abandoned deceit and conceit, being cleansed, by what would he go? He is not an approacher. Upayohi dhammesu upeti vadang anupayang kena katang vadeya attang nirattang nahi tassa atti adosiso ditta mideva sabbanti. The one who approaches engages in debate regarding ideas. The non-approacher, by what? How? Could you tell him? Taking up or rejecting, such things are not for him. He has shaken off all views here itself. Sudattaka. Number 4. The octad on the pure. Passami suddang paramang arogang dittena sangsuding narassa hoti ethabhijanang paramanti nyatva saddhanupassiti pacceti jnanang. I see the pure, the highest, the disease-free. From the seen, a man's purity comes. Understanding this, having known it as the highest, he refers to knowledge through seeing the pure. Dittena che suddhi narassa hoti jnanena vaso pajahati dukkhang anyena so sujjati sodi sopadiko dittihi nang pava tathavadana. It from the seen a man's purity comes, or through knowledge he abandons suffering. Then he is purified by something other, being with appendages. His view betrays him as he speaks like that. Na brahmano anyato suddhimaha ditte sute silavate mute va punyecha papecha anupalita attanjaho naida pakubbamano. The Brahmana does not speak of purity through something other, the seen, the heard, the thought. or virtue and practice. In both good and evil, he remains unstuck. Letting go of what was taken up, he does not make up anything. Purimang pahaya aparang sitase ejanuga te na taranti sangang te uggahayanti nirassa janti kapiva sakang pamukangahaya. Leaving the former attached to the next, they are always on the move and do not cross attachment. They keep taking up and rejecting, like a monkey leaving the old branches as it takes hold of a new one. Sayang samadayang vatani jantu uchchavachang gacchati sanyasatto vidavacha vedehi sameccha dhammang na uchchavachang gacchati buri panyo. A person by himself undertaking various practices goes high and low, attached to perceptions. But the knowing one who through knowledge has understood the Dhamma does not go high and low, being of broad wisdom. Sa sabba dhammesu vise nibhuto yankinchi dittangva sutang mutangva tameva dassing vivatang charantang kenadalo kasmi vikappa yeya. Unopposed to all things he has become, whether those seen and heard or those thought about. The one seeing just that, faring openly, by what in the world could you make him out? Na kappa yanti na purekka ronti acchatta suddhati ne te vadanti adana gantang gatitang visajja asana na kubbanti kuhinchi loke. They do not make up, they do not prefer. This is the highest purity. They do not say. Having undone the tied knot of holding, they do not form a desire for anything in the world. Simatigo brahmano tassa natti nyatvacha disvacha samugga hitang na ragaragi na viragara teta tassida natti paramoga ninti. The Brahmana has gone beyond limits. For him there is not anything that could be grasped through knowing and seeing. He does not attach to attachment and is not attached to detachment. For him there is nothing grasped as the highest. Paramattaka. Number 5. The octad on the highest. Paramanti ditthasu paribhabbasano yaduttaring kurute jantu loke hīnāti aññe tato sabba māha tasma vivādāni avītivata. It is the highest if a person thus abides in views. Then whatever it is he takes as the best, in comparison with that, he will call all others inferior. Therefore, he has not passed beyond disputes. Yadanti passati ānisansang ditte sute sīla vate muteva tadeva so tattha samuggahaya nihinato passati sabba manyang. Whatever he sees as an advantage in himself, in regard to the seen, the heard, the thought, or virtue and practice, taking hold of just that in that regard, he sees all others as inferiors. Tang vapi ganthang kusala vadanti yang nissito passati hina manyang tasmahi dittang va sutang mutang va silabbatang bhikkhuna nissa yeya. But just that is a not skillful ones say. Dependent upon which he sees another as inferior. Therefore upon the seen, the heard, or the thought, or upon virtue and practice, a monk should not rely. Dittampi lokasming na kappe yeya jnanena va sila vatteta vapi samoti attana manupaneya hinona ne manyata visesi vapi. No view at all should he form in the world, whether through knowledge or through virtue and practice. He should not refer to himself as equal, nor think of himself as inferior or superior. Attang pabaya anupadiyano jnanepiso nissayang no karoti sache viyattesu na vaggasari dittampi sona paccheti kinchi. Giving up the taken up, not taking anything up. Even on knowledge he makes no reliance. He does not take sides among the disunited, for he does not relate to any view. Yassa Subayante panidida natti bava bhavaya idavahurangva nivesana tassa na santi kechi dhammesu nichchaya samogahitam. He who towards both ends has no inclination which would lead to any sort of existence hence or yonder, for him there are no resorts assumed after evaluation of ideas. Tassida ditteva sute muteva pakkappita natti anupi sanya tang brahmanan ditta manadiyanang kenida lokasming vikeppa yeya. For him, regarding the seen, the heard, or the thought, not the slightest notion has been made up. That Brahmana who does not take up a view, by what in the world could you make him out? Na kappayantina na purekkaronti dhammapi tesang na paticci tase na brahmano sila vate na neya parangato na paccheti taditi. They do not make up, they do not prefer. Even ideals are not accepted by them. The Brahmana is not to be traced through virtue and practice. Gone to the far shore, he does not relate, being such. Jara. Number 6. Old age. Appang vata jivitang idang orang vassa satapi miyati yochepi aticca jivati atakoso jarasapi miyati. Short indeed is this life. Within 100 years one dies. Even if anyone should live longer, then he is bound to die of decay. Sochanti jana mamayite nahi satta nicha parigaha vina bhavang satta me vidang iti disava nagara mavase. People grieve for the things they call mine. For no possessions are permanent. It always ends in separation. Seeing this, one should not live in a house. Maranempi tang pahiyati yang puriso mimidanti manyati etan diswana pandito na mamataya namate mamako. At death that all gets abandoned. What a man thinks of as this is mine, having known this too, being wise, my follower would not incline to make things mine. Supinena yatapi sangatang patibuddho purisona passati evangti piyayitang janang tetang kalakatang na passati. Just as what has come together in a dream no longer is seen when a man wakes up, so too when a loved person is dead and gone, one does not see him. Ditthapi sutapi te jana yesang nama midang paucchati nama meva sissati akkeyang pettasang jantuno. Seen and heard are those people of whom such and such a name is spoken. Only the name remains to be told of the person who is gone. Soka parideva maccha jarang na jahanti gidda mamaite tasma munio parigahang hitva avarinsu kema dassino. Sorrow, lamentation, and avarice, they do not give up who are greedy for things called mine. Therefore the Munis give up possessions and fared along, seeing where their safety lies. Patilina varassa bhikkhuno bhajamanassa vivattamasanang samagayi mahu tassa tang yo attanang bhavanena dassaye. Of the monk who fares withdrawn and resorts to a secluded seat, they say it agrees with his heart not to show himself in an abode. Sabbatta muni anisiso napiyang kubbati nopi appiyang tasming parideva macharang panne variyatana lippati. Everywhere the Muni is independent and does not regard things as liked or disliked. On him, lamentation and avarice do not stick, as water does not on a lotus leaf. Udabindu yatapi pokkare padume variyatana lippati. Evang muni no palippati yadidang ditta sutang mutesuva. Dono nahi tena manyati yadidang ditta sutang mutesuva. Nanyena visuddha miccati nahiso rajjati no virajjati. The cleansed one does not conceive of that by which, in regard to anything seen, heard, or thought, he does not aspire to purify through what is other, neither does he attach nor does he strive to get detached. Tissa Metteya, Part 7. Tissa Metteya. Maituna Mainutassa Vigatang Bruhi Marisa Sutwana Tava Sasanang Viveke Sikkissama say. If one were to engage in sexual intercourse, tell us, sir, about the misfortune one gets into, Having heard you teaching, we will train in solitude. Maitunna maniyutassa mussatevapi sasanang michchacha patipajjati etang tasmin anaryang. The one engages in sexual intercourse, forgets about the teachings, and he takes a wrong course. That is an ignoble trait in him. Eko pubbe charitwana maityunna yo nisevati yaning hantang vatang loke hina mahu putujjanang. The one who first fared alone and then engages in sexual intercourse is like a swaying chariot, as in the world they say a low ordinary man. Yaso kittincha ya pubbe hayate vapi tassasa etampi disva sikkhetha metunang vippahatave. The reputation and praise he had before that falls away from him. Seeing this too, one should train oneself to well abandon sexuality. Yaso kittincha ya pubbe hayate vapi tassasa etampi disva sikkhetha metunang vippahatave. Overcome by thoughts, he broods like a destitute. Hearing what others are saying, he becomes worried. Sankappehi paratoso kappano vya nyayati sutva paresang niggo sang manku hoti tathavido atasattani kurute paravadehi chodito esakkavassa Mahagedo mosa charajja pahagati. Then he starts making weapons in defense when blamed by others, and that is his big blunder. He plunges into falsehood. Panditoti samanyato ekacharyang attito atapi maitune yutto mandova parikissati. Whereas he was considered a wise man while he was devoted to solitude, now that he engages in sexual intercourse, he gets pushed around like a fool. Eta madina vangyatva munipubba pare ida ekacharyang dalhang kaira na nissaveta metunang. Knowing the danger involved in this, initially as well as later, the Muni should make firm his solitary life and not indulge in sexual intercourse. Vivekang yeva sikketa eta daryana muttamang na tena setta manyeta save nibbana santike. He should train only for seclusion, for that is highest for noble ones. By that he should not conceive he is best. He truly is close to Nibbana. Rittassa munino charato kamesu anapekkino ogatinnassa pahanti kamesu gatita pajati. The Muni, faring released, unconcerned for sensual pleasures, crossed over the flood. Those people envy who still are entangled in pleasures. Pasura Part 8 Pasura Sutta Ideva Suddhi iti Vadiyanti Nanyesu Dhammesu Visuddhi Mahu Yannisita Tattha Suhang Vadana Pacheka Sachesu Putu Nivitta. Only here there is purity, they say. In regard to other teachings, they do not speak of purity. In what they are depending upon, they speak of beauty. In separate truths, they are individually entrenched. Te vada kama parisang vigaiha balang dahanati mitu anyamanyang vadanti te anyasita katojja pasangsa kama kusala vadana. Wanting to debate, they plunge into the assembly and hold each other to be fools mutually. Depending upon others, they put forth their arguments. Desirous of praise, they claim to be experts. Yutto katayang parisaya majje pasangsa miccang vinigati hoti apahatasming panamanku hoti nindaya so kuppati randamesi. Engaged in dispute in the midst of the assembly, wanting praise, he becomes anxious. When being refuted, he becomes depressed. When blamed, he gets irritated and looks for a flaw. Yamassa vadang parihina mahu apasadang panya vimansakase parideveti soveti hinavado upajjaga manti atuttanati. Due to the fact that they say his view is inferior and refuted, those who are judging the questions, he laments and grieves, being the loser. And he wails, they went beyond me. Ete vivada samanesu jata, etesu uggati nigati hoti, evampi disva virame, katojjang na hanya datti pasangsa lahba. Such are the disputes arisen among recluses. In these there are elation and depression. Seeing this, one should avoid argumentation, for there is no other benefit than the gain of praise herein. Pasansito va pana tatta hoti akkaya vadang parisaya majje sotang hasati unna maticca tena pappuyya tamattang yatha mana ahu. If he gets praise there, however, having spoken his word in the midst of the assembly, he laughs and gets elated due to it. Having achieved the purpose his mind was set upon. Ya unnati sasa vigata bhumi manati manang vadate paneso etampi disva na vivadayeta nahi tena suddhin kusala vadanti. But that elation is a source of trouble for him, for it makes him talk out of conceit and arrogance. Having seen this, too, one should not dispute, for the skillful ones say there is no purity through that. Suro yatha rajakādāya putta abhigacchameti patisura miccang yeneva sotena jalehi sura pubbeva natti yadidang yudaya. Like a hero fed on a royal food, goes challengingly forth looking for a rival, you run to him, hero, for right in front of you there is naught to battle with. Ye dittha muggaiha vivadayanti idameva sacchanti ucha vadayanti te tvang vadassu na bi te da atti vadampi jate patiseni katta. To those who pick up a view and quarrel and say this alone is the truth, you should speak, for here you won't find anyone to oppose you when a dispute has arisen. Viseni katva panaye charanti dittaihi dittam achirujja mana tesu tvang ki labeto pasura yesida natti paramugga hitang. But those who fare along freed from opposition without countering views with views, among them what will you get? Pasura, those for whom there is nothing grasped as the highest. Atatvang pavitakka magama manasa ditta gatani vinayatano donena yugang samagamana hi tvang sakasi samayata veti. You came along in speculation, thinking out view issues in your mind. You came face to face with the cleansed one. You won't be able to sort yourself out. Magandhiya, number 9. Magandhiya Sutta. Diswana tanhang arating ranya cha rahosi chando api metu nasming kime vidang mutta karisa punnang padapinang sampasuitum na itche. On seeing tanha, arati and raga, there was not any desire for sexual intercourse. Then what about this thing full of urine and excrement? Not even with my foot would I want to touch it. Eta disang ve ratanang na itchasi naring narindahi bahuhi pattitang dittigattang sila vatanu jivitang bahu pattincha vadesi kadisang. If you do not want such a treasure, a woman desired by many kings, then what sort of view, virtue, practice, life, and re-arising in existence do you proclaim? Idang vadamiti natassa hoti magandhiyati bhagava Dhammesu nichcheya samugga hitang vasancha dittasu anuggahaya ajjatta something pavinang adassa. The thought I proclaim this does not occur to me regarding what is evaluated and assumed from among ideas, but seeing and not taking up from among views. While investigating, I saw inner peace. Vinachchaya yani pakappitani iti magandhiyo teve muni brusi anuggahaya ajjatta santiti yamatta matta katangnu dhirehi pavadeti tang tang. The evaluations that have been made of not assuming them, Muni, you are taking. The inner peace, what this term means. How is it being made? Known by the wise. Na ditthiya, na sutiya, na jnanena magandhiyati bhagava Silabbe te napi na suddhimaha aditthiya asutiya anyana asilata abbata nopitena etecha nissajja anuggahaya santo anissaya bhavangna jappe. Not through view, learning or knowledge, nor through virtue and practice do I declare purity. Even so, not without view, learning and knowledge, and also not without virtue, without practice. Relinquishing these without taking up, peaceful without depending, one should not yearn for existence. Noche kira ditthiya na sutiya na jnanena iti vagandiyo silabbetenapi visuddhi maha aditthiya asutiya ajnana asilata abbato nopitena manyamahang mohuhameva dhammang ditthiya eke pacchanti suddhing. If you do not through view, learning or knowledge declare purity, and also not through virtue and practice, and still not without view, learning and knowledge, as well as not without virtue and practice, then I think such a teaching is all confused, since through view some refer to purity. Dittancha nisaya anupucchamano magandiyati bhagava sammugga hitesu pamoha maga itocha nadakhi anumampi sanyang tasma tuang mohu hato dahasi. Putting your questions depend on view, you have come to bewilderment regarding assumptions, but here you saw not even the slightest notion. Therefore you are holding it to be all confused. Samo vihesi udacha nibino yomanyatiso vivideta tena tisu vidasu avikkamano samo visesiti tassa hoti. Equal, superior or inferior. If in these terms one thinks of oneself, one might quarrel on that account. But if one is unshaken in the three modes, equal, superior, ideas do not occur to them. Sacchanti so brahmano King vadeyya musativa so vivideta kena yasming samang visamang vapi natti sa kena vadang pati sangyujaya. Why should the Brahmana say this is true, this is false? With whom should he so quarrel? The one who has no idea of equality or inequality. With whom in the world should he join to quarrel? Okampahaya aniketa sari game akubbang muni santavani kamehi ritta apurekkarano katanna viggaiha janena kaira. Leaving the house, roaming homeless, he should not make close connections with the village, rid of sensual objects, not preoccupied with them. He should not talk in a quarrelsome way with people. Yehi vivittha vichareya loke natani uggaiha vadeya nago palambujang kantakang varijang yatha jalena pankenacha nupalittang evang muni santivado aggida kamecha lokecha anupalitta. The things in the world he should fare aloof from, Taking hold of them, the great man should not speak. Like the water-borne thorny-stalked lotus is unsoiled by water and mud, so the Muni who speaks of peace and is not greedy is unsoiled by sensual pleasures. Na vedegu ditthiya na muttiya sa manemeti nahi tammayo so na kammuna nopi sutena teyya anupanito sa nivesanesu. The wisdom accomplisher does not by view or by thought go to conceit. This is not made of that. He is not traceable through action or learning. He is not led to take up an abode anywhere. Sanya virattassa nasanti gatta panya vimuttassa nasanti moha sanyancha dittincha ye aggahessum te gatta yantha vicharanti loketi. There are no knots for him who is detached from notions, no delusions for him who is freed through wisdom. But those who have taken up notions and views, they go around the world, clashing with each other. Purabeda 10. Before the breakup. Katang dassi katang silo upasannati vucchati tang me gotama pabruhi pucchito uttamang narang. How seeing and how conducting oneself is one said to be at peace. This do tell me, O Gotama, being asked about the Supreme Man. Vita tanha pura bedo pubba mantasman manasito vema jai ganu pasanka neya tassa nati purakkatang. With craving gone before the breakup, not learning back on the past, not reckonable in the middle, there is nothing put in front of him. Akkadano asanasi asantasi avikatti akukkacho mantabani anudato sa ve vachayato muni. Free of anger, not giving to fear, not boastful, free of wrongdoings, talking considerately, not agitated. He is a Muni regarding speech. Nirasati anagate attiyam nanusochati viveka dassai passesu dittisu cha na niyati. He has no longing for the future. He does not sorrow over the past. Seeing how to stay aloof in present contacts, he is not let in among the views. Patilino akuhako apihalu amichari appagabbo aje gujjo pesu neyya cha no yuto. Keeping withdrawn, not deceitful, not envious, not avaricious, unobtrusive, not repulsive. He does not engage in slander. Satiesu anassavi atimano cha no yuto sanha cha patibhanava na saddo na vijjati. not attracted to pleasant things, not given to arrogance. He is gentle and resourceful, not going by faith and not trying to get detached. Labha kameyana sikkati alabena cha kuppati aviruddho cha tanhaya rasesu nanuginjati. Out of desire for gains, he does not train himself, and does not get upset at not gaining. He does not get opposed due to craving, and is not greedy for tastes. Upekho sada sato na loke manyate samang na visesi na nicheya tassa no satti ussada. Equanimous and ever mindful, he does not think of anyone as his equal, nor himself as superior or inferior. He has no prominences. Yassa niseyato natti nyatva dhammang anissito bhavaya vibhavaya va tanha yassa na vijjati. He for whom there is nothing to depend upon, having known the nature of things independently, and for whom neither for being nor for unbeing there is found any craving. Natassa putta pasavo kettang vattum cha vijjati anta chapi nirattava natasmi upalabbati. Him I call the peaceful one, the one without concern for sensual pleasures. For him there are no knots, for he has crossed the viscosity. Yena nang vajju putujjano ato samana brahmano tang tassa apurukatha tasma vadesu nejati. For him neither sons, nor cattle, nor fields and land are to be found. The assumed and the rejected, all these are not to be found in him. Vita gedo amachari na ussesu vadate muni na samesu na omesu kappang neti akappiyo. That way by which they might tell him, the common people, or else the recluses and Brahmins, that is not paid attention to him, to buy him. Therefore he is not shaken by what they say. Being free of greed and avarice, the Muni does not speak of himself in terms of superiority, equality, or inferiority. He does not enter into what can be classed. He is not classifiable. Yassa loke sakang natti asatacha na sochati dhammesu cha na gacchati save santani vuchatiti. He for whom nothing is in the world is his own, and who does not grieve at the absence, and does not go around in ideas, he is truly said to be at peace. Kalaha Vivada Sutta 11. Quarrels and disputes. Kuto pahuta kalaha vivada parideva soka sahamaccha racha manati mana sahape sunacha kuto pahuta te tadanga bruhi. For where arise quarrels and disputes, lamentation and sorrow together with avarice, conceit and arrogance together with slander, from where are they arisen? Please tell me that. Piya pahuta kalaha vivada, parideva soko sahamaccha racha, manati mana sahapesunacha, macharya yutta kalaha vivada, vivada jatesu cha pesunani. From things held dear arise quarrels and disputes, lamentation and sorrow, together with avarice, conceit and arrogance, together with slander. Conjoined with avarice are quarrels and dispute, and among those engaged in dispute there are slanders. Piyasu lokasmi kuto nidana, yechapi lobo vicharanti loke, asacha nittacha kuto nidana, ye samparaya narassa honti. Originated from what are things held dear in the world, and whatever greeds roam over the world. Originated from what are hopes and aims, which shape a man's future destiny. Chandana nani piyani loke, yechapi lobo vicharanti loke, asacha nittacha ito nidana, ye samparaya narassa honti. Originated from desire and hopes and aims, and whatever greed roams over the world. Originated from this are hopes and aims, which shape a man's future destiny. Chandonu lokasmi kuto nidano, vinayachaya vapi kuto pahuta, kodo mosa vanjancha katang katacha, yo vapi dhamma samanena vuttha. Originated from what is desire in the world, evaluations also, from where have they arisen? Anger, falsehood, and doubt. Of these too, I ask, as well as the teachings proclaimed by the Samana. Satang asa tatti yamahu loke tamupanisaya pahoti chanda rupesu disva vibhavang bhavancha vinayachayang kurute jantu loke. The pleasant and the unpleasant, as they say in the world. Independence upon these desires arises. Seeing increase and decrease in things, a person makes evaluations in the world. Kodo mosa vanyancha katang katacha satang asatancha etepi dhamma davayameva sante katang kati jnana pataya sakke nyatva pautta samanena dhamma. Anger, falsehood, and doubt, these things too are when there is a duality. A doubter should train in the path to knowledge. Through knowledge, the teachings have been proclaimed by the Samana. Satang asatancha kuto nidana, kisming asante na bhavanti bete, vibhavang bhavanchapi yameta mattang etang me prabruhi yato nidanang. The pleasant and the unpleasant have their origin where? When what is not, do they not come to be? And increase and decrease, the matter so called, tell me that too, from where it originates. පස්සානිදානං සාතං අසාතං පස්සේ අසන්තේ න භවಂತಿ බේතේ විභවං භවංචාපි යමේත මත්තං ඒතං තේ පබ්‍රූමි ito නිදානං. Originated from contacts, there are the pleasant and unpleasant. When the contact is not, these do not come to be. And increase and decrease, the matter so-called, I tell you that too, it originates from this. Passa nidanang satang asatang passe asante na bhavanti bete vibhavang bhavanchapi yameta mattang etang te pabrumi ito nidanang. Contact in the world has its origins where, and also possessions from where do they arise. When what is not, is there no mindness? When what has disappeared, do contacts not contact? Passonu lokasmi kuto nidano pariggaho chapi kuto pahuto kisaming asante na mamatta matti kisaming vibhute na pusanti passa. Dependent on name and matter, there is contact. Possessions have their origin in wanting. When wanting is not, there is no mindness. When matter has disappeared, contact do not contact. Namancha rupancha paticca passa iccha nidanani pariggahani ichaya satya na mamatta matti rupe vibhute na pusanti passa. For one endowed in what manner does matter disappear? Ease and unease, how do they disappear? Tell me that, how it all disappears. We would like to know that. The thought came to me. Katang samatassa vibhoti rupang sukhang dukhang vapi katang vibhoti etang me bruye yato vibhoti tang janasami ite me mahu me mano ahu. Na sanya sanyi na visanya sanyi nopi asanyi na vibhuta sanyi evang samatassa vibhoti rupang sanya nidanahi papancha sanya. Not perceiving perception, not perceiving an abnormal perception, not non-perceiving, not perceiving the disappeared. For one endowed in this manner, matter disappears. For tied up with perception is expanse and name. Yang tang apucca maha akittayi no anyang tang puccama tadanga brohi ethava taggang nu vadanti deke yakkassa suddin ida pandito se udahu anyampi vadanti etta. That which we asked you, you have made clear. We ask you another thing. Please tell us that. Is it to that extent that some wise men here speak of the purity of the spirit, or do they speak of something other than this? Ethava vatagampi vadanti be heke yakkassa suddin ida pandito se tesang paneke samayang vadanti anupadi sese kusala vadana. To that extent too, some wise men here speak of the purity of the spirit, but then some others speak of an annihilation, speaking like masters on the without remainder. Etecha nyatva upanissatati nyatva muni nissaye so vimansi nyatva mimutto na vimoda meti bhava bhavaya na sameti dhiroti. Having known these as they are dependent, the Muni knowingly investigates into the dependency. Knowingly, he is freed and does not enter into dispute. The wise one does not intend for existence or non-existence. Chula Vyuha Sutta 12. Small Discourse on Deployment. Sakang sakang ditti paribbasana vigaiha nana kusala vadanti yo evang janati savedi dhammang idang patikkosa makavaliso. Each abiding by his own view, quarreling, the skillful say different things. He who knows thus has understood the teaching. Rejecting this, one is imperfect. Evampi vigaiha vivadayanti balo paro akaku saloti chahu sachanu vado katamo ime sang sabbeva hime kusala vadana. Thus quarreling they dispute, and they say, the other is an unskillful fool. The true speech is which one among them, for all these are claiming to be skillful? Parassa che dhamma mananujanang balo mago hoti nihina panyo sabbeva bala sunihina panya sabbe vime ditti paribbasana. If by not approving another's teaching, one is a stupid fool, inferior in intelligence, then all are fools of very inferior intelligence, for all of these are abiding by views. Sandityo chevana chevadata sa suddha panya kusala mutima natesang kochi parihina panyo ditti hi tesampi tatha samatta. But if by their own view they are cleansed, purified in wisdom, skillful and thoughtful, then none of them is lacking in wisdom, for that is the way their views has been assumed. Na chaha metang tathiyanti brumi yamahu bala mitu anya manyang sakang sakang ditti makangsu sachang tasmahi baloti parang dahanti. I do not say that is true, what fools say mutually about each other. They have each made their own view to be true, therefore they hold another to be a fool. Yamahu sachang tatiyanti eke tamahu anye tucca musati evampi vigaiha vivadayanti tasmana ekang samana vadanti. What some call true and real, of that others say empty and false. In this way too they quarrel and dispute. Why do recluses not say one thing? Ekang hi sachang na dutiya matti yasming paja no vivade pajanang nana te sachani sayang tutanti tasmana ekang samana vadanti. One is truth, there is no second, about which people who understand should not quarrel. Different are the truths, they praise each for himself. Therefore, recluses do not say one thing. Kasamanu Sachani Vadanti Nana Pava Diyase Kusala Vadana Sachani Sutani Bahuni Nana Udahu Te Takka Manussaranti. Why do they proclaim different truths, loud-voicedly, proclaiming to be skillful? Are there truly many different truths, or are they going by their own thinking? Naheva Sachani Bahuni Nana Anyantra Sanyaya Nichani Loke Takkancha Dittisu Kapayitva Sachang Musati Dvaiha Mahu. The many different truths are not intended permanent, except by being taken so in the world. Forming thoughts about the views, they speak in terms of the duality, true and false. Ditte sute sila vate muteva etecha nisaya vimana dasi vinichchaye tatva pahassa mana balo paro akusaloti chaha. The seen, the heard, the thought, or virtue and practice, dependent upon these he shows content. Standing on judgment he laughs and says, the other is an unskillful fool. Yeneva baloti parang dahati tena tumanang kusaloti chaha sayamattana so kusala vadano anyang vimaneti tateva pava. That which he holds another to be a fool, by that he calls himself skillful. By himself he claims himself to be skillful, despises the other and speaks accordingly. Atisara ditthiya so samanto manena matto paripunna mani sayameva samang manasabi sitto dittahi sa tassa tata samatta. Going to excess, in his view he is perfect. Intoxicated with conceit he thinks himself to be complete. By himself he has crowned himself in his own mind, for that is the way his view has been assumed. Parassa chehi vajasa nihino tumo saha hoti nihina panyo atache sayang vedagu hoti diro nakochi balo samanesu atti. If through another's word one is inferior, then along with him one is oneself inferior in intelligence. But if, on the other hand, by oneself one is a knower, a wise man, then there is no fool among recluses. Anyang ito yabi vadanti dhammang aparada sudadima kevali te evampi tithya putuso vadanti sanditharegena hi tebi ratta. They who proclaim a teaching other than this have failed to reach purity and are imperfect. Thus, sectarians individually speak, inflamed with passion for their view. Ideva sudding itivadiyanti nāñañyasu dhammesu visuddhamahu evampi tithya putuso nivitta sakayane tattha dalhang vadana. Here alone there is purity, they say. They do not speak of purity in other teachings. Thus too, sectarians are individually entrenched, speaking firmly about their own system in that respect. Sakayane chapi dalhang vadano kameta baloti parang dahaya sayameva so medagang avaheya parang vadang bala masuddhi dhammang. Then, in this respect, how could one call another a fool? He himself would bring conflict to himself. If he called another a fool with an impure teaching. Vinichchaye tattva sayang pamaya uddangso lokasmi vavadameti hitwana sabbani vinichchayani na medagang kurute jantu loketi. Standing on judgment, measuring by himself, all the more he comes into dispute in the world. But having abandoned all judgments, a person makes no conflict in the world. Mahavyuha Sutta 13. Great Discourses on Deployment. Yekechi me ditti paribbasana idameva saccanti vivadayanti sabbevate ninda mandavanayanti ato pasansampi labanti tatta. All of those who abide by their views and dispute saying, only this is the truth. They all incur blame, and praise too they get therein. Appang hi etang na alang samaya duve vivadassa palani brumi evampi disva na vivadayeta kemabi passang avivada booming. Little is this, not enough for appeasement. There are two fruits of dispute, I say. Having seen this, one should not dispute, seeing as safety the field of non-dispute. Ya kachima sammutiya putujja sabbava etha na upeti vidva anupayo so upayang kimeya ditte sute kanti makubba mano. Whatever common acceptances there are, not one of these does the one who knows go close to. The one who does not go close, how could he engage in going close? When he shows no liking for what is seen and heard. Siluttama sanya menahu sudding vatang samadaya upattito se iddeva sikkhama attassa sudding bhavupanita kusala vadana. Those who take virtue as the highest say that purity is from restraint. Taking up an observance and devoting themselves to it, just in this we should train, then there could be purity. Aiming at rebirth, they speak as if they were skillful. Sache chuto sila vatto hoti savedeti kammang viradayitva sa jappati patayiditi sudding sattacha hino pavasang garamaha. If one of them falls away from his virtue and practice, he trembles having failed in his action. He longs for and aspires for purity, like one who has lost his craving, like one who has lost his caravan while staying away from home. Silabbatang vapi mahaya sabbang kammancha savajja vajja metang Sudding asundanti apattayano virato chare santi manuggahaya. But having abandoned all virtue and practice and action, whether blameworthy or blameless, with no aspiration regarding the pure and the impure, he would live unconcerned, not grasping after peace. Tamupa nissaya jigujjatang va atavapi dittang va sutang mutang va uddang sara sudi manuttu natti avittanha se bhavaha vesu. Dependent upon aestheticism and the way of loathing, or else on the seen, the heard, or the thought, they sigh away purity beyond the flow, not freed from various existences. Pattaya manasa hi jappitani paveditang vapi pakippatesu chutuppato ida yassa natti sakena vedeyya kuhingva jappe. For the one who aspires there are longings, and there is shaking in preparations for the future. But he for whom there is no falling away or re-arising, why should he tremble? For what should he long? Yamahu dhammang paramanti eke tamecha hinatti panahu anya sachanu vado katamo ime sang sabbeva hi me kusala vadano. The teaching that some call the highest, that very one others call inferior. The true speech is which one among these? For all these are claiming to be skillful. Sakanghi dhammang paripunna mahu anyassa dhammang panahina mahu evampi vigaiha vivadayanti sakang sammuti mahu saccang. Their own teaching is that which they call complete. The others' teaching, however, they call inferior. Thus too they quarrel and dispute, each taking his own acceptance to be true. Parassa che vam bayitena hino nakochi dhammesu visesi assa putuhi anyassa vadanti dhammang nihinato samagi dalalhang vadana. If through another's blaming one is inferior, not anyone would be superior regarding teachings, for widely they speak of another's teaching as inferior, while speaking firmly about their own. Sadhamma pujacha pana tateva yatha passanti sakaya nani sabbeva vada tatya bhaveyung sudihi tesang pachatta meva. But if the honoring of one's own teaching would accord with the way they praise their own systems, then all their speeches would be true, and purity for them would be individual. Na brahmanassa paraneya matti dhammesu nichcheya samugga hitang tasma vivadani upati vatta na bi settoti passati dhammanyang. For a Brahmin, there is nothing that needs another's guidance, and that is assumed after investigating among teachings. Therefore, he has gone beyond disputes, for he does not regard as best a Dhamma that is other. Janami passami tateva etang ditthiya eke paccenti sudding addakhi che kimbi tumassa tena atisitva anyena vadanti sudding. I know, I see, it is just like that. Through view, some refer to purity. If he saw, what use is it for him? Having passed beyond themselves, they say purity is through what is other. Passang naro dakkiti nama rupang disvana va nyasati tani mevang kamang bahung passutu appakang va nahi tena sudding kusala vadanti. A seeing man will see name and the matter. Having seen, he will know just those. Let him see much or let him see little. Not through that do skillful ones proclaim purity. Nivissavadi nahi subbi nayo pakappitang ditti purakkarano yang nisito tatta subang vadano sudding vado tatta tatat dasso so. The one who speaks out of belief is not easy to guide. One who puts in front the view he has formed. In what he is depending upon, therefore he speaks of beauty. He speaks of purity there, for thus he saw. Na brahmano kappampu peti sankhang na dittasari napi jnana bandhu nyatva cha sa samattiyo putujja upekkhati ugganhanti manye. The Brahmana does not approach what can be classed and named. He does not follow view and does not relate to knowledge. And having known all common acceptances, he looks on while others take up. Visajja ganthani munida loke vivada jatesu na vaggasari santa asantesu upekho so anuggaho ughanha mati manye. Having released the knots, the Muni here in the world does not take sides among those involved in quarreling. Peaceful among the unpeaceful, he is an onlooker, not taking up where others take up. Pubbasave hitva nave okubbang na chandagu nopi nivissavadi sa vippamutto ditta gatehi dhiro na lippati loke antagarahi. Giving up all taints, not making new ones. He does not go by desire, nor speak out of belief. He, the wise one, being freed from view, issues, does not get stuck in the world and does not reapproach himself. Sasabba dhammesu viseni bhutho yang kinchi dittang va sutang mutang va sapanna baro muni vippayutto na kappiyo nuparato na pattiyo ti. Unopposed to all things, he has become, whether those seen or heard or those thought about. The Muni with burden laid down, completely freed, is not forming, not taking delight, not aspiring. Tuattaka 14. Quickly. Puchchami tang adicca bandung Vichekang santi padancha mahesing kathang diswa nibbati bhikkhu anupadiyano lokasmi kinching. I ask you, O kingsman of the sun, about seclusion and the state of peace. O sage, how, having seen, is a monk quenched, not taking up anything in the world? Mulang papancha sankhaya manta asamiti sabbampu parunde yakachi tanha ajjattang tasang vinaya sada sato sikke ka. The root of expanse and name, the I am, the deep thinker should put a complete end to it. Whatever cravings are within, for dispelling these, he should always train mindfully. Yankinchi Dhamma bija nya anyattam atavapi bahidda natena manang kubbeta nahisa nibuti satang vutta. Whatever thing he would directly know, whether in himself or outside, that he should not build up strength upon, for that is not called quenching by the good. Seheya natena manyeya niveya athavapi sarekha utta anekarupehi natumanang vikeppayang titte. By that he should not think himself to be better, or to be lower or equal. Contacted by many forms, he should not stay making out himself. Ajjattameva upasame na anyato bhikkhu santi meseya ajjattang upasantassa nattiyatta kuto niratta va. Only in himself should he come to peace. A monk should not speak. A monk should not seek peace from what is other. For the one come to peace in himself, there is not the assumed form from where the rejected. Majenya yatha samuddassa umi no jayati tito hoti evang tito anejassa ussadang bhikkhuna kareya kuhinji. As in the middle of the ocean no wave is born, it stays still, so he should stay still without movement, and allow no upflow anywhere. Akitayi vivatta chakku sakhi dhammang parissa vinayang patipadang vadehi badde netha patimokkang atavapi samadhi. The open-eyed one has declared the nature of things as experienced, putting aside difficulties. Tell us of the practice, Venerable Sir, the binding principles as well as the composure. Chakkuhi neva lolasa gama kataya avereya sotang rasecha nanu giccheya nacha mamayeta kinchi lokasming. He should not be restless with his eyes. He should close his ears to village talk. He should not be greedy for tastes and not make mine anything in the world. Passena yada puttassa paridevang bhikkhuna kareya kuhinchi bhavangcha nabi japeya beravesu cha na sampavedeya. When contacted by contact, a monk should not make lamentation about anything. He should not hanker after existence and not shake among fearful things. Anana mato pananang kadiniyanang atopi vattanang laddana santidin kaira nache parittase tani alabano. Of foods and drinks, of chewables, as well as of clothes. He should not, if getting them, make a store. And he should not become anxious if not getting them. Jaina padalo lassa virame kukucha nappa mejjeye ata asanesu sayanesu appassa desu bhikkhu vihareya. He should be meditative and not restless on his feet. He should refrain from loose conduct and not be negligent. Then in sitting and resting places there are of little sound a monk should dwell. Niddangna bahuli kareya jagariyang bhajeya atapi tanding mayang bassang kiddang metunang vipajaihe savibusang. He should not take much sleep, but should apply himself to wakefulness. Being ardent, lassitude, deceit, laughter and play, he should dispel, as well as sexuality and adornment. Atha bannang supinang lakkanang no videhe atopi nakkattang viruttancha gabbakaranang tikkancha mamako na seveya. Atvara, charms, dreams and signs. He should not practice, as well as astrology, animal cries interpretation, causing of conception, and healing my follower should not engage it. Nindaya nappa vedeya na uttameya pasansito bhikkhu lobang saha maccharyena kodang pesuniyancha panudeya. A monk should not tremble at blame and not get elated when praised. Greed together with avarice, anger and slander he should dispel. Kayavikkeya na titteya upavadang bhikkhu na kareya kuhunchi gamecha nabhisajjeya labhakamya janang na lappeya. A monk should not stay with buying and selling, and not make criticism regarding anything. He should not get attached in the village and not speak boastfully out of desire for gain. Nacha katiko siya bhikkhu nacha vachang payutang bhaseya pagabhiyang na sikheya katang vigahikang na kateya. A monk should not be a boaster and not speak hintingly. He should not train in recklessness and not speak quarrelsome speech. He should not be led by falsehood, and in awareness he should not act in a deceitful manner. Then, on account of his life and wisdom, and virtue and practice, he should not despise another. Sutva rusito bahung vachang samananang putuvachananang parusena nena pativajja nahisanto patiseni karonti. Provoked after hearing much talk from recluses as well as from common people, he should not counter them with harsh speech. For the good, do not retaliate. Etancha dhammanyaya vichinang bhikkhu sada sato sikke santiti nibbuting nyatva sasane gotamassa napa majjaya. Knowing that this is the Dhamma, reflecting on it, a monk should always train mindfully. Knowing quenching to be peace, he should not be negligent in Gotama's teaching. Abhibhuhi so anabhibhuto sakhi dhammang aniti hamadassi tasmahi tassa bhagavato sasane appamatto sada namassa manuksikketi. For he is the overcomer who is not overcome. With his own eyes he saw the Dhamma not based on hearsay. Therefore, in the teaching of the Blessed One should always train with diligence and devotion. Attadana Sutta 15. Taking up of sticks. Atta danda bayang jatang janang passata medagang sangvegang kitta issami yata sangvijitang maya. From the taking up of sticks, fear arises. Looking at people quarreling, I shall describe the sense of urgency in the way it was experienced by me. Enda manang pajang diswa macche appadake yata anya manyehi vyarudde diswa mang bayamavasi. Seeing the trembling humankind like fish in little water, mutually opposed to each other, fear entered my heart. Samanta masaro loko disa sabba samerita icha bhavana mattano nadda sasi anositang. All around the world was void of sense. All directions were adrift. Wanting an abode for myself, I did not see any unobstructed. Osa netveva vyarudde diswa me arati ahu atetta sallang adakking duddasang hayanissitang. In that very obstruction they were opposed. Seeing that, aversion arose in me. Then I saw the barb there, hard to see, stuck in the heart. Ye sallena ottinna disa sabba vidavati tameva sallang abbuiha na davati na sidati. The barb pierced by which one ruins in all directions. Having pulled that barb out, one does not run, one does not sink. At this point the training rules are recited. Tatta sikkanu giyanti yani loke gatitani na tesu pasuto siya nibbijja sabbasa kame sikke nibbana mattano. Whatever ties there are in the world, one should not be intent on them. One should not be intent on them. Having broken through sensuality completely, one should train in self-quenching. Sachasya apagabba amayo ritta pesuno akkadono lohapapang vevicha vitare muni. One should be truthful and not reckless, without deceit, rid of slander, and without anger, the evil of greed, and the wish of variety a Muni should cross over. Niddang tadding sahetinang pamadena sangvase atimane na tittaya nibbana manaso naro. Sleep, lassitude and sluggishness he should overcome. He should live without negligence. A man should not stay with arrogance if his mind is set upon quenching. Mosa vajjena niyeta rupe senahang na kubbeye manancha parijaneya sahasa virato chare. He should not be led into falsehood. He should not have affection for form. Conceit he should completely know and fare restraint from violence. Puranang nabi nandeya nave kanting na kubbaye hiya mane na socheya akasang na sito siya. He should not take delight in the old. He should not show liking for the new. When things vanish, he does not grieve. He should not stay stuck to his situation. Gedang brumi maho geti ajavang brumi jappanang arammanam pakappanang kama panka durachayo. Greed I call the great flood. Its forward flow I call yearning. The support is the forming of intentions. The mire of sensuality is hard to cross. Sacho gedang brumi mahogoti ajavang brumi jappanang arammanam pakappanang kama panko durachayo. Not deviating from truth, the Muni, the Brahmana, stands on his ground. Having relinquished everything, he indeed is called peaceful. Sacho avokamma munitale tittati brahmano sabbangso patinissajja sa ve santoti vucchati. Save videsa vasa vedago nyatva dhammang anissito sammaso loke iriyano na pihihetida kassachi. He truly is the knower, the one accomplished in knowledge. Having come to know the nature of things independently, harmoniously moving about in the world, he does not envy anyone here. Yoda kame acharati sangang loke durachayang naso sochati najenti jinnang soto abban no. He who has crossed beyond sensuality, the attachment to the world so hard to overcome, he neither sorrows nor broods, for he has cut across the stream and has no bonds. Yang pubbe tang visoseihi pachate mahukinchinang macheche no gahissasi upasanta charissasi. What was before, let it wither. Afterwards, let there be nothing. If you do not grasp in the middle, you will fare as one who has come to peace. Sabbaso nama rupasming yassa natti mama itang asatacha sochati sa che lokena jiyati. In name and matter entirely, if there is nothing made mine for him, and he does not grieve over absence, he suffers no loss in the world. Yassa natti idang meti paresang vapi kinchanang mamattang so asang vindang natti meti na sochati. For whom there is not, this is mine, nor anything taken as for others, he, finding nothing to call mine, does not grieve, there is not for me. Anitturi ananugidda anejo sabbadi samo tamani sansang pabrumi puchito avikampinang. Free of harshness and not greedy, he is unmoved and everywhere the same. I tell you that is the advantage. When asked about the unshaken one, Ane jassa vijanato natti kachi nisankiti virato so vyarambva kemang passati sabbadi. For the unmoved, knowing one, there is no fabrication. Abstaining from putting forth effort, he sees safety everywhere. Na samesu, na omesu, na ussesu vadate muni, santaso vita macha ro nadeti na nirassatiti. In terms of equality or inferiority or superiority, the Muni does not speak of himself. Peaceful and free from avarice, he does not take up, he does not reject. Sariputta Suttang 16. Sariputta Name ditta ito pubbe nasuto udakassachi evang vaggu vado satta tusita gani magato. Never before did I see or hear about from anyone such a sweet-speaking teacher come here from Tusita to be the leader of a group. Sadevakassa lokassa yata dissati chakkuma sabbang tamang vinodetva ekova rati manjaga. To the world with its gods, as the one who has eyes appears, he having dispelled all darkness, arrived alone to delight. Tang buddhang asitang tading akuhang panimagatang bahunnamida baddhanang atti panjahana agamang. To that awakened one, unattached, such like, not deceitful, being the leader of a group, for the sake of the many here who are bound, it is that I have come with a question. Bhikkhuna viji gucchato bhajato ritta masanang rukkamulang susanang va pabbatanang guhasuva. For a monk who is disgusted and resorts to an empty seat, the root of a tree or a cemetery or in caves in the mountains, Uchchavasesu sayanesu kivanetta tato berava yehi bhikkhuna vedeya niggoso sayanasane. In such high and low lodgings, how many are the terrors which a monk should overcome in his quiet lodging? Kati parissaya loke gacchato agatang disang ye bhikkhu abhisamba ve pattamhi sayanasane. How many are the difficulties in the world for one going in the direction never gone before, which a monk should overcome in his remote lodging. Kayasassa vyappattayo asasu kayyasassu idagochara kani silabbataanassu vahitattassa bhikkhuno. What ways of speech should there be for him? Which resorts should he have here? And what virtue and practice should there be for the monk who is well decided? Kangso sikkang samadaya ekodi nipako sato kammaro rajataseva niddame malamattano. Having taken up what training, being unified in the mind, careful, mindful, who he blow away his impurities? Would he blow away his impurities as a smith the dross of silver? Vijiguccha manassa yadidang pasu rittasanang sayanang sevato che sambodhi kamassa yathanu dhammang tang te pavakkami yatha pajanang. If one is disgusted and resorts to an empty seat and lodging and intent on awakening, then about what will be for his ease? I shall tell you according to the Dhamma as I have understood it. Panchannang diro bhayanang na bhaye bhikkhu sato sapariyanna charing dansadi pātānaṁ sirinsapānaṁ manussa passanam chapuddānaṁ. 5 fears a wise man should not fear. A monk who is mindful and fares within the limits, goldy flies, mosquitoes and creeping things, 4-footed beasts and harassments from humans. Paradhamma nampi na santaseyya disvapi tesang bahuberavani athaparani abhisambhaveyya parissayani kusalanu esi. He should not be terrified by sectarians, even after having seen their many terrors. And further, he should overcome the obstacles seeking what is skillful. Atanka passena kudaya putta sitang atunhang adivasaseyya sotehi putto bahuda anoko viryam parakkamma dalhang kareyya. Contacted by the pain of disease and by hunger, he should tolerate it, and also the cold and the hot, being contacted by these in many ways. The homeless one with persisting energy should make firm. Teyang na kareya na musabaneya mettaya passe tasattavarani yada vilattang manaso viranja kanhassa pakkati vinodeya. He should not commit theft nor speak falsehood. With friendship he should touch both weak and strong creatures. Whatever stirring up of the mind he should come to know, he should dispel it, thinking it is on the dark one's side. Kodati manassa vasangna gacche moolampi tesam palikancha chitte atappiyang va pana appiyang va adda bhavanta abhisambhaveyya. He should not go under the influence of anger and arrogance. Cutting off their very root, he should stay. And then the liked and the disliked, he should overcome to the full extent. Panyang purakkatva kalyana piti vikkam mebeyya thani parissayani arating sabeta sayanam hi patte chaturo saheta parideva dhamme. Putting wisdom in front with joy for the skillful, He should push away those obstacles. He should overcome non-delight. For a remote lodging, he should conquer the 4 lamentation-causing thoughts. Kinsu asisami kuang va asisang dukkhan vata setta kuvajja sessang ete vitakke paridevaneyya vinayeta seko aniketa sari. What shall I eat? What shall I eat? Where shall I eat? I slept uneasily. Where shall I sleep tonight? These thoughts causing lament, the one in training should dismiss. Ananyancha ladda vasa nancha kale mattangso ranjanya ida tosa nattang sotesu gutta yatavarigame rusitopi vachang parusangna vajja. Having received food and clothes at the right time, he should know the measure for the purpose of contentment. Guarded in these, the faring with restraint in the village, even provoked, he should not speak harsh words. Okita chakku nacha pada lolo janunu yetta bahujagarasa upekka marabba samahitatto takkasayang kukuccha nyu panjebe. With downcast eyes and not restless on his feet, he should be devoted to meditation and be very wakeful. Basing himself on equanimity, self-composed, he should cut off habitual thoughts that lead to worry. Chudito vavihi satimahi nande sabrakmacharisu kilang pabinde vachang pamuncha kusalang nati chelang janavadam dhammaya na chetayaya. Reproved with words, he should mindfully accept them. He should break up the barness regarding fellow monks. He should release speech that is skillful but not for too long. He should not intend for what leads to talk among people. Atha parang pancha rajani loke yesang satima vinayaya sikkhe Rupesu saddesu ato rasesu gandesu passesu saheta raga. Moreover, there are 5 sorts of dust in the world, for the dispelling of which he should train mindfully. Passion for forms, sounds and tastes, smells and contacts, he should overcome. Etesu dhammesu vinayya chandang Bhikkhu satima suvimutta chitto kalena so samma dhammang parivimansamano ekodi bhuto vihena tamang soti. Having dispelled passion for these things, a monk mindful with well-freed mind, at the right time investigating the Dhamma and having become unified, he might destroy the darkness. Attaka Vaggo Chatutto. End of the Attaka Vagga. Parayana Vagga. Ajita Manava Puccha. Number 1. Ajita's questions. Kenasu nichuto loko kenasu napakasati kisabi lepanang brusi kinsu tassa sahabbayang. By what is the world obscured? By what does it not shine forth? What is its tarnish? What is its tarnish? What is its greatest fear? Avijjaya niyuto loku vevicha pamada nappakasati jappabi lepanang brumi dukkha massa mahabbayang. By ignorance the world is obscured. By lust for variety, by neglect, it does not shine forth. Hankering I call the tarnish. Suffering is the great fear. Savanti sabbadi soto, sotanang ki king nivaranang, sotanang sangvarang bruhi, kena sota patiyare. The streams flow everywhere. What is the checking of the streams? Tell me the stemming of the streams. By what are the streams closed? Yani sotani lokasming satitesang nivaranang sotanang sangvarang brumi panyayate patiyare. Whatever streams there are in the world, mindfulness is their checking. I tell you the stemming of the streams. By wisdom they are closed. Panya cheva sati cheva namaru panchamarisa etamme putte pabruhi katte tang uparujjati. Wisdom and mindfulness and the name and matter, Venerable Sir, tell me that. When asked, where does it all cease? Yame tang panyahang appucca ajitang tang vadamite yatta namancha rupancha asesang uparujjati vinyanassa nirodena ette tang uparujjati. That question which you asked, Ajita, I tell you, about where name and matter cease without remainder, with cessation of consciousness, there it all ceases. Yecha sankhata dhamma se yecha seka putu ida tesang me nipako iriyang putta pabruhi marisa. Of those who have fully comprehended the Dhamma, and of the many who are in training here, of their behavior, you careful one, speak out when asked, Venerable Sir. Kāmesu nābiginjeyya manasa navilosya kusalo sabba dhammanang sato bhikkhu paribhajeti. He should not be greedy for sensual pleasures. He should be unconfused in mind, skillful in all things. A bhikkhu should wander mindfully. Tissa metteya pucca. Number 2, Tissa metteya's questions. Kodang santusito loke kassa no santi ichita ko ubantamhi nyaya manje mantana lippati kang brusi maha purisoti ko ida sibbani machaga. Who is content here in the world? For whom are there no stirrings? Who have known both ends, does not get stuck in the middle, being wise? Whom do you call a great man? Who has overcome the seamstress? Kāmesu brahmacharyāvā vitanhe sada sato sankhāya nibbuto bhikkhu tassa no santi ijjita. In sensual pleasures, keeping to the celibate life, free of craving, always mindful, the monk is through consideration quenched. For him there are no stirrings. So ubanta mabhinyaya majje mantana lippati thang brumi mahapurisoti soda sibbani machagati. He having known both ends, does not get stuck in the middle, him I call a great man. He has overcome the seamstress. Punnaka Manava Puccha. Number 3. Punnaka's questions. Anejang mula dasavi atti panhena agamang kinnisa isayo manuja kattiya brahmana devatanang yanya makkappa yinsu putu ide loke puchchama tang bhagava bruhi metang. To the unmoved one who sees the root, it is that I have come with a question. On account of what did human sages, warriors and brahmanas make sacrifices to the gods in manifold ways here in the world? I ask you, O Blessed One, do tell me that. Ye kechime issayo manuja kattiya brahmana devatanang yanya makappa yinsu putu ide loke asin mana punnaka ittha bhavang jarang sita yanya makkappayi su. All these human sages, warriors and brahmanas who make sacrifices to the gods in manifold ways here in the world, it was in hope of getting such a state again, and because of approaching old age that they made sacrifices. Ye kechi me issaya manuja kattiya brahmana devatanang yanya makkappa insu putu ida loke kachissu te bhagava yanya pate appamatta ātāru jātinca jaranca marisa puchchami tang bhagava bruhi mettang. All these human sages, warriors and brahmanas who make sacrifices to the gods in manifold ways here in the world, I wonder if they, being diligent in the ways of sacrifices, did cross birth and old age, Venerable Sir. Asinsanti thomayanti abhijappanti juhanti kama bijappanti paticca labang te yajago bhavaragaratta nati natarinsu jati jaranti brumi. They hope, they praise, they long, they offer. They long for sensual pleasure on account of gains. They devoted to sacrificing, impassioned by lust for being, did not cross birth and old age. I say, Sankhaya lokasmi parovarani yasanchitang natti kuhincha loke santha vidu mo anigo niraso athariso jati jaranti brumiti. If they did not cross by being devoted to sacrificing, through sacrifices, birth and old age, Venerable Sir, then who in this world of gods and men did cross birth and old age, Venerable Sir? I ask you, O Blessed One, do tell me that. Teva nāthārinsu yāja yogo yanyahi jātinca jaranca marisa atako charahi deva manussa loke athari jātinca jaranca marisa puchchami tang bhagava brumi metang. Sankhaya lokasmi parovarani yasinchitang natti kuhincha loke santha vidumo anigo niraso athariso jati jaranti brumiti. Having considered high and low things in the world, for whom there is no strings, no stirring anywhere in the world, peaceful, free of smoke, untroubled, rid of hope, he has crossed birth and old age, I say. Mettagu Manavaka Puccha. Number 4. Mettagu's questions. Puchchami tang bhagava bruhi mettang Manyami tang vedagu bhavitattang kutonu dukkha samudagata ime ye kechi lokasming aneka rupa. I ask you, O Blessed One, do tell me this, for I think you are perfect in knowledge and well cultivated. From where have these sufferings sprung, whatever there are of various types in the world? Dukkassa ve mang pabavang apucchasi tang te pavakkami yata pajanang upadi nidana pabhavanti dukkha yekechi lokasming aneka rupa. Of suffering, indeed, you ask me the origin. I shall tell it to you as I have understood it. Dependent on appropriation, these sufferings arise, whatever there are of various types in the world. Yove aviddava upadin karoti punappunang dukkha mupeti mando tasmahi janang upadin nakaira dukkhassa jati paba vanupassasi. He, indeed, who unknowingly makes appropriation, that fool again and again goes to suffering. Therefore, the one who understands makes no appropriation, seeing that suffering's origin comes from birth. Yantang apuccimha akitayino anyang tang puccami tadinga bruhi katangnu dira vitaranti ogang jati jarang soka paride vancha tang me munisadu viyaka rohi tatahite vidito esa dhammo. That which we asked you, you have told us. Now I ask you another thing. Please tell me that. How do the wise get across the flood, birth and old age, sorrow and lamentation? That, O Muni, explain to me well, for you are the one who discovered the Dhamma. Kitte samite dhammang ditte dhamme anitihang yang viditva sato charang tare loke visattikang. I shall set forth the Dhamma to you here and now, not involving hearsay, knowing which one may, faring mindfully, cross the viscosity in the world. Tancha chahang abhinandami mahesi dhamma muttamang yang viditva sato charang tare loke visattikang. In that I do delight, in that highest Dhamma, O great sage, knowing which one may, faring mindfully, cross the viscosity in the world. Yang kinchi sampajanasi udang ado tiriyanchapi manje etesu nandincha nivesancha panuccha vinyanang bhavena titte. Whatever you become aware of, above and below, across and in the middle, the delight and attachment regarding those things, having dispelled that, let consciousness not stand upon being. Evang vihari sato appa matta bhikkhu charang hitva mamayitani jating jarang soka paride vancha ideva vidva pajaiha dukkhang. Dwelling thus mindfully and diligently, a monk should fare, having given up these things made mine, these birth and old age, sorrow and lamentation, in short, suffering, he would here itself knowingly abandon. Etahi nandami macho mahesino Sukittitang Gotama Nupadikang Addahi Bhagava Pahasi Dukkang Tatahi Te Vidito Esa Dhammo. I do delight in that, the word of the great sage, well set forth, Gotama, was the teaching of no appropriation. For sure you, the Blessed One, have abandoned suffering, for thus indeed this Dhamma was experienced by you. Te chapi nuna pajaiha dukkhang, ye tvang muni attitang ovadeyya, tang tang namassami sameccha naga, appeva mang bhagava attita ovadeyya. They too, I presume, would abandon suffering, those that you, O Muni, would constantly instruct. To you I bend, having understood, O Naga, in hope that the Blessed One would constantly instruct me. Yang Brahmanang Vedagu Abhinya Akinchanang Kama Bhave Asattang Addahiso Ogami Mang Atari Tinnacha Parang Akilo Akanka. That Brahmana, complete in knowledge, you might come to know, possessing thought, not stuck to sensuality and being. For sure he has crossed this flood, and crossed to the yonder. He is free of fairness and doubt. Vidvachaso vedago naro ida bhava bhave sangami mang visajja so vittha neha anigo niraso athariso jati charanti brumiti. That man here is a knowing one. That man is the perfect in knowledge. He, having let go of the trap of being and not being, free from craving, untroubled, rid of hope, has crossed birth and old age, I say. Dodaka Manava Puccha. Number 5. Dodaka's questions. Puchami thang bhagava bruhi metang vachahi kankami mahesi tuihang tava sutwana nige gasasang sikhe nibbana mattano. I ask you, O Blessed One, do tell me that. I want a word from you, O great sage. Having heard your utterance, I'll train in the quenching of self. Tena hatappang karohi ideva nipako sato ito sutwana nigge gasang sikke nibbana mantano. Therefore make the effort here itself carefully and mindfully. Having heard the utterance from here, do train in the quenching of self. Passa mabang deva manussa loke akinchanang brahmanang iriyamanang tang tang namassami samanta chakku pamuncha mang sakka katang katahi. I see in this world with its gods and men a brahmana moving around, owning naught. To you I bend, O all-around visioned, release me, O Sakyan, from troubling doubts. Nahang gamisami pamochanaya katang kating dodaka kincha loke tammancha settang ajanamano evang tuang oga mimang taresi. I have no power to work for the salvation of any doubter in this world, O Dotaka, but knowing the best Dhamma, you may thus cross the flood. Anusasa brahme karanamano viveka dhammang yamahang vijanya yatahang akasova avyapajyamano ideva santa asito chareya. Instruct, O Brahmana, taking compassion, the Dhamma of aloofness, so that I may come to know, in such a way that I, like unopposing space, here itself may fare at peace and unattached. Anusasa Brahmana Karanama no Kinta Isami te Satting Ditte Dhamme Aniti Hang yang viditva sato charang tare lokang visattikang. I shall set forth the peaceful way here and now, not involving hearsay, knowing which one may, faring mindfully, cross the viscosity in the world. Tang vahang abhinandami mahesi satti muttamang yang viditva sato charang tare loke visattikang. In that I do delight, in that highest peaceful way, O great sage, knowing which one may, faring mindfully, cross the viscosity in the world. Yang kinchi sampajanasi uddang ado thiriyanchapi manche etang viditva sangati loke bhavaya makasi tanhanti. Whatever you become aware of, above and below, across and in the middle, having known that as the trap in the world, do not build up craving for being or not being. Upasiva Manava Pucha. Number 6. Upasiva's questions. Eko ahang sakka mahanta mogang anisito no vichahami taritum arammanam brohi samanta chakku yang nisito oga mimang tareya. Alone I cannot, O Sakyan, over the great flood, attempt to cross without dependence. Tell me the support, O all-visioned one, depending upon which one may cross this flood. Akinchang pekkamano satima natiti nisaya tarassu ogang kame pahaya virato katahi tanhakkayang natta mahabhipassa. Mindfully view the state of not, depending on there is not, cross the flood, abandoning sensual pleasures, abstaining from talk. Sabbesu kamesu yo vitarago akinchang yang nisito hitva yanyang sanya vimokha parame vimutta tittha nuso tatta ananuyayi. He who is rid of passion for sensual pleasures, depending on the state of not, having left aught else, and who is freed in the highest release of perception, would he stay there without passing on? Sabbesu kamesu yo vitarago akincha nyang nyang nisito hitva manyang sanya vimokha parame dimutta titteyya so tatta ananuyayi. He who is rid of passion for sensual pleasures, depending on the state of not, having left aught else, and who is freed in the highest release of perception, he might stay there without passing on. Titteve so tatta ananuyayi yugampi vassanang samanta chakku tatteva so siti siya vimutta chaveta viññānaṁ tatha vidassi. If he might stay there without passing on, even a good number of years, O all-vision one, would he then became cool and liberated right there? Would consciousness pass away from such a one? Acchi yatha vata vagena kitta attang jaleti na upeti sankhang evang muni namakaya vimutta antang paleti na upeti sankhang. As a flame flung away by the power of the wind goes to its end and does not enter the reckonable, so the Muni, freed from the attributes of name, goes to his end and does not enter the reckonable. Athangato so udava so natti udahuve sassatiya arogo thangme muni sadhu vikaya karohi tatahi te vidito esa dhammo. Has he gone to the end or is he not at all? Or else, indeed, is he eternally in good health? That, O Muni, explain to me well. For you are the one who discovered the Dhamma. Athangatassa na pamana matti yena nang vajjum thang thassa natti sabbesu dhammesu samuhatesu samuhata vadapatapi sabbeti. Of the one gone to the end there is no measuring, that by which they might tell him that for him is not. When all things have been abolished, all ways of saying are abolished too. Nanda Manava Puccha. Number 7. Nanda's questions. Santi loke munayao jana vadanti taidang katansu jnanupanannang no muning vadanti udahuche jivitenupannang. There are munis in the world, people say, and how is that? Do they call the one who qualifies through knowledge a muni, or else the one who qualifies through behavior? Na ditthiya, na sutiya, na jnanena, munida nanda kusala vadanti, viseni katva aniga nirasa, charanti ete munayoti brumi. Neither through view nor through learning or knowledge do the skillful ones call one a muni here, O Nanda. Those who, unopposing, trouble-free, and rid of hope, fare along, them I call munis. Ye kechi me samana brahmano se dittena sutenapi vadanti suddhing Silabbhatenapi vadanti suddhing aneka rupena vadanti suddhing kachissasu te bhagava tatta yata charanta ataru jatincha jarancha marisa puchami tang bhagava bruhi me tang. All these recluses and brahmanas who declare purity through the seen and the heard, declare purity through virtue and practices, declare purity in various other ways. I wonder if they, O Blessed One, faring in accordance with that, have crossed birth and old age, Venerable Sir. Ye kechi me samana brahmana se dittena sutenapi vadanti suddhing silabbate napi vadanti suddhing aneka rupena vadanti suddhing kinchapi te tatta yata vadanti natarinsu jatiranti brumi. All these recluses and brahmanas who declare purity through the seen and the heard, declare purity through the virtue and practices, declare purity in various other ways. However much they fare in accordance with that, they have not crossed birth and old age, I say. Ye kechi me samana brahmana se dittena sutenapi vadanti suddhing silabbhatenapi vadanti suddhing aneka rupena vadanti suddhing. All these recluses and brahmanas who declare purity through the seen and the heard, through virtue and practices, and in various other ways. If you, O Muni, say that they have not crossed the flood, then who, then, in this world of gods and men, has crossed birth and old age, Venerable Sir? I ask you, O Blessed One, do tell me that. තේච මුනි බ්‍රාසි අනෝගතින්නෝ අතකෝ චරහි දේව මනුස්ස ලෝකේ අතාරි ජාතිංච ජරස්ස මාරිස පුච්ඡාමි තං භගවා බ්‍රූහි මේතං නාහං සබ්බේ සමන බ්‍රාහ්මනාසේ ජාති ජරාය නිවතාති බ්‍රූමි යේසුද දිඨං ව සුතං මුතං වා සීලබ්බතං වාපි පහාය සබ්බං අනේක රූපම්පි පහාය සබ්බං තණ්හං පරිඤ්ඤාය අනාස වාසේ තේවේ නරා ඕගතින්නාති බ්‍රූමි. I do not say that all recluses are brahmanas. I do not say that all recluses and brahmanas are in the grip of birth and old age. Those who have abandoned the seen, the heard, the thought, as well as virtue and practice, and have abandoned the various other ways too, and who have fully known craving and are taintless, they indeed are men who have crossed the flood, I say. Etahi nandami vacho mahesino sukittitang gotama nupadikang yesuda dittang va sutang utang va silabbatang vapi pahaya sabbang aneka rupampi pahaya sabbang tanhang parinyaya anasa vase amhampi te ve ogatinnani brumiti. In that I do delight in the world of the great sage, those who have abandoned the seen, the heard, the thought, as well as virtue and practice, and who have fully known craving and are taint-free. I too say they have crossed the flood. Hemaka Manava Puccha. Number 8. Hemaka's questions. Ye me pubbe viyakansu hurangotama sasanang ichchasi iti bhavissati sabbantang itihi tihang sabbantang takka vaddanang nahang tatta abhiraming. Those who formally explained to me prior to hearing Gotama's teaching, thus it was and thus it will be, all that is pure hearsay, all that is feeding speculation, I did not delight therein. Tavancha me Dhamma makkahi tanyaha nigatanang muni yang viditva satocharang tare loke visattikang. But tell me the Dhamma that leads to the crushing of craving, having known which one may, faring mindfully, cross the viscosity in the world. Ida ditta sutta vinyatesu viyarupesu hemaka chandaraga vinodanang nibbana pada macchutang. Here in regard to the seen, heard, thought and cognized that are here held dear, O Hemaka, the dispelling of desire and lust is nibbana, the state that does not fall away. Etha danyaya ye sata ditta mada mabi nibbuta upasantha cha te sada tinna loke visatta kanti. Those who know this and are mindful and are quenched here and now, they are at peace all the time and have crossed over the viscosity in the world. Thodeya Manava Puccha. Number 9. Thodeya's questions. Yasmin Kamana Vassanti Tanha Yasana Vajjati Katang Katacha Yotinno Vimoko Tassa Ki Diso. The one in whom sensuality does not reside, and for whom there is no craving, and who has passed beyond all questions, what release is there for him? Yasmin Kamana Vassanti Tanha Yasana Vijjati Katang Katacha Yotinno Vimoko Tassa Naparo. The one in whom sensuality does not reside, and for whom there is no craving, and who has passed beyond all questions, For him there is no further release. Nirasaso so udi asasano Panyana vaso udapanya kappi muning ahang sakka yata vijanyang tang me vyakchikka samanta chakku. Is he rid of hope, or is he still hoping? Is he the stuff of wisdom, or a mere imitator of wisdom? The Muni, O Sakyan, so that I might know him, portray him to me, O old vision one. Nirasa so sona so asa sano Panyanava sona cha panyakappi Evampi thodeya muning vijana akinchanang kama bhave asanti. He is rid of hope and no more hoping. He is the stuff of wisdom and not a mere imitator of wisdom. In this way, O Thodeya, know the Muni, the man of naught, who is not stuck in sensuality and being. Kappa Manava Puccha. Number 10. Kappa's questions. Majenja sarasming tittatang oge jate mahabbaye jara machu parethanang deepang pabruhi marisa tavancha me deepa makkahi yatha idang naparasya. Unto those who stand mid-water when the fearful flood arises, unto those in old age and death enshrouded, do tell the isle, good sir, and tell me that very isle, come to which there is no more. Majje sarasming tittatang oge jate mahabbaye jara machu parethanang deepang pabrumi kabbate. Unto those who stand mid-water when the fearful flood arises, unto those in old age and death enshrouded, O Kappa, I tell you the isle. Akinchanang anadanang etang deepang anaparang nibbanam mati tangbrumi jara machu parikkayang. Where there is nothing and nothing is taken up, there lies the isle of no more, Nibbana, thus I call it, the coming to end of old age and death. Etadanyaya ye sata ditta dhamma hi nibbuta, nate mara vasanuga, nate marassa padaguti. Those who know this and are mindful and are quenched here and now, they do not come under the influence of Mara. They are not Mara's servants. Jatukinni Manava Puccha. Number 11. Jatukinna Manava questions. Sutvanahang chirang akama kaming ogatigang puttu makama gamang santi padang bruhi sahajaneta yatha chang bhagava bruhi metang. Having heard of the hero who does not desire sensuality and has gone beyond the flood, I had no choice but to come. Tell the peaceful way, O man of inborn vision, the real truth, O blessed one, do tell me that. Bhagavahi kame abubuyya iriyati adi chevacha pataving teji tejasa paritta panyasa me buri panya achikha dhammang yamahang viranja jati jaraya ida vippahanang. For the Blessed One has completely overcome sensuality as the fiery sun overcomes the earth with its fire. To me of little wisdom, O man of broad wisdom, set forth the Dhamma, so that I might know the abandonment of birth and old age. Kamesu vinaya gedang nekkammang dattu kemato uggahitang nirattang va mate vijitta kinchanang. Dispel the greed for sensual pleasures, seeing renunciation as the safe ground, taken up or rejected. Let not anything be found in you. Ye pubbe tang visoseihi pachate mahu kinchanang, majjeche no gahesasi upasanto charissasi. What went before, let it wither. What comes after, let it not be for you. If you do not grasp in the middle, you will fare at peace. Sabbaso nama rupasming vita gedassa brahmana asavasa na vijjanti yehi machu vasang vajeti. For him who, regarding the whole of name and matter, has no greed left in him, O Brahmana, no taints are found, by which he might go into power and death. Bhadravuda Manava Puccha. Number 12. Bhadravuda's questions. Okang jahang tanha vachidang anejang nanding jahang ogatinnang vimuttang kappang jahang abhiya che sumedang sutwana nagassa apinimisanti ito. The one who has left the house and cut craving and is unmoved, who has left delight and crossed the flood and is free, who has left classing, I request that, wise one, for only after hearing the Naga will they turn away from here. Nana jana janapadehi sangata tangvira vakyang abhikanka mano tesang tuang sadhu vika karohi tatahite vidito esa dhammo. The many people come together from many provinces, awaiting your word, O hero. To them make the meaning clear, for it is you who discovered this Dhamma. Adana tanhang vinayeta sabbang uddang ado tiryanchapi majje yang yang hi lokasmi upadiyanti teneva maro aneverti jantung. Craving for holding one should dispel altogether. Things above or below, across or in the middle, for whatever they take hold of in the world, by that very thing Mara keeps track of them. Tasma pajanang na upadiyeta Vikhu sato kinchanang sabbaloke adana satte iti pekkhamano pajang imang machudeya visansatanti. Therefore a monk who understands should not take hold of anything in the world. Always being mindful, they are stuck with taking up. Thus viewing them, the people who are stuck in the realm of death. Udaya Manava Puccha. Number 13. Udaya's questions. Jayi viraja masinang katinchanang anasavang paragung sabba dhammanang atti panhyana agamang anya vimokkang pabruhi avijjaya pabedanang. To the one who sits in meditation without defilements, and who has finished the task and is taintless, and who has gone beyond all things, it is that I have come with a question. Tell the liberation through knowledge, the shattering of ignorance. Pahanang kamat chandanang domanassanang chubayang tinassacha panudanang kukuchanang nivarananang. With the abandoning of desires for sensuality, as well as of dejections, and the driving off of sloth, and the restraining of worries. Upekha sati sansuddhang dhammatakka purejavang anya vimokkang pabrumi avijjaya pabedanang. With equanimity, the mindfulness purified and Dhamma thinking running in front, I say there is liberation through knowledge and the shattering of ignorance. Kinsu sangyojano loko kinsu tassa vicharano kissassa vipahanena nibbanamati vucchati. What is the world fettered by? What is it roaming about? With the abandoning of what is Nibbana being spoken about? Nandi sangyojano loko vitakkassa vicharana tanhaya vippabhanena nibbanamati vucchati. The world is fettered by delight. Thoughts are its roaming about. With the abandoning of craving, Nibbana is being spoken of. Katang satassa charato viññānaṁ uparujjati bhagavantam puttu māgamma tangsunāma vachotave. For one faring mindfully, just how does consciousness come to an end? Having come to ask the Blessed One, let us hear the word to answer that from you. Ajjattancha bahittacha vedanang nabhinandito evang satassa charato viññānaṁ uparujjati iti. For the one who internally and externally does not delight in feeling, it is for one faring thus mindfully that consciousness comes to an end. Posala Manava Pucca. Number 14. Posala's questions. Yo atitang adiyati anejo jinna sansayo paragung sabba dhammanang atti panhana agamang. To him who reveals the past, who is unmoved and has cut off doubt, and who has gone beyond all things, it is that I have come with a question. Vibhuta rupa sanyissa sabbakaya papahino ajjantancha bahiddacha natti kinchiti passato jnanang sakkhanu pucchamin katang neyyo tatavido. Of him whose perception of matter has vanished, who has abandoned the body altogether, and who internally and externally sees there is nothing. Of him I ask, O Sakyan, what knowledge can there be? How is such a one to be known? Viññānatitiyo sabba abhijanang tathagato tittanamatena janani vimuttang tapparayanang. Knowing about all the supports of consciousness, the Tathagata knows him as he stands there, freed, having his aim only there. Akiññanya sambhavang ñatva nandi sangyojanang iti eva metang abhiññāya tato tatta vipassati etang jnanang tatang tassa brahmanassa vusimatoti. Having known the origin of nothingness, and that delight is a fetter, thus having directly known it, he thereupon develops insight into it, and that is the true knowledge of the Brahmana who has finished the practice. Mogaraja Manava Pucca. 15. Mogaraja's questions. Dvahang sakkang apucchassang name vyakasi chakkuma yava tatiyancha devisi vyaka rotita me sutang. Twice I asked the Sakyan, and the one who has eyes did not answer me. But if for the third time the divine sage gets asked, he will explain. So I have heard. Ayang loko paro loko brahma loko sadevako ditting te nabijanati gotamassa yasassino. This world, the other world, and the Brahmana world with its gods do not know about your view, you famous Gotama. Etang abhikkanta dassaving atti panhena agamang katang lokang avekkantang machurajana passati. To the man of such exalted vision, it is that I have come with a question. When one observes the world, in what way does the king of death not see one? Sunyato lokang avekkasu mogaraja sado sadasato attanu ditting uhacca evang machu tarasiya evang lokang avekkantang machurajana passatiti. Observe the world as empty, mogaraja, and always be mindful, smash the underlying view of self. Thus you may become one who has passed beyond death. When one observes the world in this way, the king of death does not see one. Pingya Manava Pucca 16. Pingya's questions. Jinno hamasmi abalo vitavanno Nethana suddha savanang na pasu mahang nassang mohu ho antarava achikka dhammang yamahang vijanya dachi jati jaraya ida vippahanang. I am old, weak and discolored. The sight is not clear. The hearing is not easy. Let me not get lost in confusion to my detriment. Set forth the Dhamma so that I may come to know the abandonment of birth and old age. Disvana rupesu vihanyamane rupanti rupesu janapamatta tasmatuvang pingya appametta jahassu rupang apunabbavaya. Seeing people getting harassed in their bodies, for heedless people get afflicted in their bodies. Therefore do you, O Pingya, heedfully give up the body for the sake of finishing rebirth. Disa chattasa vidisa chattasa uddang ado dasadisa imayo natuihang additta asutang mutang va ato aviññānaṁ kiñchina matti loke āchikka dhammang yamahang vijññaṁ da jati jaraya ida vippahanam. The four straight directions, the four intermediate ones, above and below in these 10 directions, there is not for you anything unseen, unheard or not thought of, or not recognized anywhere in the world. Set forth the Dhamma so that I may come to know the abandonment of birth and old age. Tanhadi panena manuje pekkamano satta pajate jarasa parete tasma tuang pingya appa metta jahassu tanhang apunabba vayati. Seeing people enmeshed in craving, in torment and overcome by old age. Therefore do you, O Pingya, heedfully give up craving for the sake of finishing rebirth. Pingya Anuggahita Gatha 17. Pingya's Song of Praise. Parayana manugayassang yatha dakhi yattata akasi vimala buri medaso nikkamano nibbano nago kissa hetu musa bane. I shall sing in praise of the way to the beyond. This is the Venerable Pingya said. As he saw it, so he told it. The unstained man of broad wisdom, the leader, free of sensuality and entanglement. Why should he lie? Pahina mala mohassa mana makke pahiyano. Handahang kitta isami girang vannupa sanghitang. The man who has abandoned the stain of delusion and given up conceit and arrogance, I shall now extol in words of praise. Tamonudo buddho samanta chakku lokanatagu sabba bhavittetto anasavo sabba dukkapahino sacca vahayo brahme uposito me. The dispeller of darkness, the awakened one of all around vision, who has gone to the end of the world and passed beyond all being, the taintless one with all suffering left behind. The truly named one, O Brahma, has been waited upon by me. Dvijo yatha kubbanakang pahaya bahuppalang khananang avaseyya eva pahang appadasse pahayang mahodading hansari vajjapatta. Like a bird that leaves a small wood in order to reside in a forest with much fruit, so I have left those of little vision and have arrived to the big ocean like a swan. Yeme pubbe vyakansu hurangota masasana ichasi iti bhavissati sabbantang iti hi tihang sabbantang takkavaddanang. Those who have explained things to me before, prior to hearing Gautama's teaching, thus it was and thus it will be, all that is mere hearsay, all that is feeding speculation. Eko tamanu dasino jutimaso pabankaro Gautamo buri panyano Gautamo buri medaso. Sitting alone, dispelling darkness, he is like a light spreading lust. Gautama of broad understanding, Gautama of broad wisdom. Eko tamanu dasino jutimaso pabankaro Gautamo buri panyono Gautamo buri medaso. Yome Dhamma dassesi sandittika makalikang tanhakkaya manitikang yassa natti upama kacchi. Who taught me the Dhamma of here and now, not involving time, that destroys craving and is free of disease, and to which no simile can be found. Kinnu tamha vippavassasi muhuttampi pingiya Gautamo buri panyono Gautamo buri medasa. Why do you dwell apart from him, even for a moment, O Pingya? Gautama of broad understanding, Gautama of broad wisdom. Yote Dhamma dassesi sandittika makalikang tanhakkaya manitikang yassa natti upama kacchi. Who taught you the Dhamma of here and now, not involving time, that destroys craving and is free of disease, and to which no simile can be found? Nahang tamha vippavasami muhuttampi brahmana Gautamo buri panyono Gautamo buri medaso. I do not say apart from him, even for a moment, Brahmana, Gautama of broad understanding, Gautama of broad wisdom. Yote Dhamma desa si sandittika makalikang tanhakka manitikang yassa natti upama kacchi. Who taught me the Dhamma of here and now, not involving time, that destroys craving and is free of disease, and to which no simile can be found? Passaminang manasa chakkunacha ratting divang brahmana appamatta. Namassamano vivasemi ratting teneva manyami avippavasang. I see him with the mind as with the eye, day and night, O Brahmana, without neglect. Reverently I let the night pass. Because of this, I think there is no staying apart. Saddhacha pītīcha mano saticha nāpenti me gotama sāsana māga mabā yang disang vajati bhuri pañño satena teneva nato hamasmi. My faith and joy, my mind and memory, do not depart from Gotama's teaching. Whatever direction the one of broad wisdom walks, to that very direction I am inclined. Jinnassa me dubbalatta kāmassa teneva kāyo na paleta tatta sankappa sattaya vajami niccang manohi me brahmana tena sutta. Since I am old, weak and feeble, therefore my body does not run to that side. I am always going by my thought vehicle. From my mind, O Brahmana, is bound upon with him. Panke saino paripanda mano deepa deepang upapalaving attadasasing sambuddhang ogati nanna manasavang. Lying in the mud, floundering, I floated from island to island. Then I saw the awakened one who has crossed the flood and is taintless. Yata ahu vakkali mutta saddha vadravudo alavi gotamocha eva meva twampi pamuchassu saddang gammissa twang pingiya machu deyya rassa parang. As Vakkali was one of free-flowing faith, and Bhadravuda and Alavi Gotama, thus you too release your faith. You will go, O Pingya, beyond the realm of death. Esa biya pasidami sutwana muneno vacho vivatta chaddo sambuddha akilo patibhanava. I get renewed confidence having heard the word of the Muni, the awakened one with veil removed, free of barness, of ready wit. Adideva abhinyaya sabbang vedi paro varang panyahanang karo satta kankina patijanatang. Having gained knowledge about the gods, he knew everything high and low, the teacher who put an end to questions for those who admit of being doubters. Asanghirang asankuppang yassa natti upama kacchi adda gamisami nametta kanka evang padarehi adimutta chittanti. Unmovable, unshakable, to which there is no simile. Indeed, I shall go there, of that I have no doubt. Thus remember me as the one whose heart is resolved. Parayana Vaggo Panchamo. End of Parayana Vagga. Other Suttas. Muni Sutta. Number 1. Sage. Sanvato bayang jatang niketa jayate raja aniketa man santavang etang ve munidassanang. From socializing, fear is born. From the house, dust arises. Freedom from house and society, that is the Muni's vision. Yo jata muccicha na ropeya Jayanta massa nanupa vecha tamahu ekang muninang charantang addakkiso santipadang mahesi. He who has uprooted the born and does not regrow and does not allow a new arising process, him they call the long-faring Muni, for he, the true sage, has seen the way of peace. Sankhaya vattuni pahaya bijang sineha massa nanuppaveccha sache muni jatikayanta dasi takkang pahaya na uppeti sankhang. Surveying the fields, crushing the seed, not allowing any moisture to it, he is the Muni who sees the utter destruction of birth. Giving up thinking, he does not enter the surveyable. Anyaya sabbani nivesatani anikamayang anyatarampi tesang save muni vita gedo agi deda nayuhati paragahato hi hoti. Having known all resorts, not wanting any of them, he is the Muni who is freed from greed and does not go along it. Sabba bibhu sabba vidung sumedang sabbesu dhammesu anupalittang sabbajjahang tanhakkaye vimuttang tangvapi dhira muning vedayanti. Overcoming all, knowing all, mature in wisdom, not getting stuck in anything, giving up all, freed in the destruction of craving, him too the wise make known as the Muni. Panya balang sila vattuppannang samahatang jnana naratang satimang sangapamuttang akilang anasavang tangvapi dhira muning vedayanti. Strong in wisdom, endowed with virtue and practice, composed, delighting in meditation, mindful, with bhanas gone, taintless. Him too the wise make known as the Muni. Ekang charantang muning appamattang ninda pasansasu avedamanang sihangva saddesu asantatang vatangva jalamvi asajjamanang padumangva toyena alippamanang netara manye samananya neyang tangvapi dhira muning vedayanti. Faring along, the Muni free from negligence, unshaken in blame and praise, like the lion undisturbed by sounds, like the wind not caught in the net, like the lotus untouched by water, the leader of others not led by them. Him too the wise make known as the Muni. Yo gahane tamahe bhavi jiyati yasming pare vacha pariyantang vadanti tangvita ragang susamahitandriyang tangvapi dhira muning vedayanti. He who remains like a post in the bathing place, regarding whom others come to the end of words, freed from lust, well composed in faculties, him too the wise make known as the Muni. Yove dhiratto tasarangva ujjung jigujjati kammehi papakehi vimansamano visamang samancha tangvapi dhira muning vedayanti. He who with the balanced mind and straight like a weaving shuttle is disgusted with evil acts and investigates the even and the uneven, him too the wise make known as the Muni. Yo sanyatto na karoti papang daharocha majjamocha muni yatto arosa neyya sona rosati kanchi tangvapi dhira muning vedayanti. He who, well restrained, does no evil, whether young or middle-aged, being a Muni, and neither gets provoked nor provokes anyone. Him too the wise make known as the Muni. Yadaggato majjato sesato va pindang labeta paradattu pajivi nalang tutung nopi nipaccha vading tangvapi dhira muning vedayanti. Depending as he is on others for food, whether he receives from the top, the middle, or the remainder. He is incapable of praising or criticizing it. Him too the wise make known as the Muni. Munin charantang vitarang metu nasma yo yobbanena upanibajjate kanchi maddappa mada viratang vipamuttang tangvapi dira muning vedayanti. The Muni, living aloof from sexuality, who even in his youth gets entangled nowhere, refraining from indulgence and negligence, well freed, him too the wise make known as the Muni. Anyaya lokang paramatta dasing ogang samuddang attiriya tading tang jinna gantang asitang anasavang tangvapi dira muning vedayanti. Having known the world, seeing the highest purpose, having crossed the flood and the ocean, being such like, with knots cut, unattached and taintless, him too the wise make known as the Muni. Asama chubo dura vihara vuttino gihi daraposi ammocha subbato parapana rodaya gihi asanyato nichang muni rakkati panino yato. Unequal are the two, remote in life and practice, the householder who feeds a family and the possessionless one of good practice. The householder is unrestrained in killing living beings, while the Muni always protects animals, being restrained. Sikhi yatha nila givo vibangamo ansassa nopati javang kudachanang evan gihi nanu karoti bhikkhuno munino chittassa vanamhi nyayatoti. Even as the blue-necked, crested bird never reaches the speed of the wild goose, so the householder cannot emulate the monk, the secluded Muni meditating in the forest. Samma Paribhajaniya Sutta. Number 2. Faring rightly. Pucchami muning pahutta panyang tinnang paragatang parinibbutang dittang nikkamma gara panujja kame katang bhikkhu sammaso loke paribhajeya. I asked the Muni of great wisdom, crossed over, gone to the other shore, quenched and balanced, having gone forth from the house and dismissed sensual pleasures, how would a monk fare rightly in the world? Yassa mangala samuhata uppata supinacha lakkanacha so mangala dosa vippahino bhikkhu sammaso loke paribhajeya. He who has abolished fortune-looking, shooting stars, dreams and portents, he with the blemish of fortune-looking, fully abandoned, would fare rightly in the world. Ragang vinayeta manusesu dibbesu kamesu vapi bhikkhu atikkamma bhavang sameccha dhammang sammaso loke paribhajeya. The monk should dispel his lust for human pleasures, as well as for the divine ones, transcending existence and realizing the Dhamma. He would fare rightly in the world. Vipitti katwana pesunani kodang kadariyang jaheyya bhikkhu anurodha virodha vippahino sammaso loke paribhajeya. Turning his back on the slanders, the monk should abandon anger and avarice. With attraction and opposition fully abandoned, he would fare rightly in the world. Hitwana piyancha appiyancha Anupadaya anisito kuhinchi Sanyojaniyehi vipramutto sammaso loke parippacheya. Having abandoned the liked and the disliked, not taking up, he is not dependent on anything. From things that fetter well released, he would fare rightly in the world. Na so upadisu sarameti adanesu vinaya chandaragang so anissito ananyaneya sammaso loke paribbacheya. He does not go for an essence in appropriations. For things taken up, he dispels desire and lust. Being independent and not guided by others, he would fare rightly in the world. Vachasa manasacha kammanacha aviruddho samma viditva dhammang nibbana padabhi pattayano sammaso loke paribbacheya. In word, thought and deed, not acting contrarily, having rightly understood the Dhamma, aspiring to the state of quenching, he would fare rightly in the world. Yo vandati mang na unnameya akkutte tapi na sandiyeta bhikkhu ladda parabhojanang na majje sammaso loke paribbacheya. The bhikkhu should not get elated thinking, he worships me. Being abused, he should not feel resentment. Having received the food offered by others, he should not indulge. In that way, he would fare rightly in the world. Lobhancha bhavancha vippahaya virato chedana bandhana to bhikkhu sotinna katang kato visalla sammaso loke paribbacheya. Having abandoned greed and existence, abstaining from cutting and blinding, the monk crossed over doubt, with barb pulled out, he would fare rightly in the world. Saruppa mattano viditva na cha bhikkhu hinseya kanchi loke yatha tatiyang viditva dhammang sammaso loke paribbacheya. Knowing what is suitable for himself, the monk should not harm anyone in the world. Knowing the Dhamma according to its suchness, he would fare rightly in the world. Saruppa mattano viditva nacha bhikkhu hinseya kinchi loke yatha tatiyang viditva dhammang sammaso loke paribbacheya. In whom there are no latent tendencies, whose roots of evil have been done away with, and who rid of inclinations does not yearn, he would fare rightly in the world. Yasanusaya na santi kechi mula akusala samuhatase so nirasayo anasayano sammaso loke paribbacheya. With taints destroyed and conceit abandoned, having abandoned all the ways of lusting, controlled, quenched and balanced, he would fare rightly in the world. Asavakkina pahina mano sabbang ragapatang upati vatto danta parinibbuto titatta sammaso loke paribbacheya. Confident, learned, seeing the sure way, not taking sides among the divided, having dispelled greed, hatred and resistance, he would fare rightly in the world. Sansuddha jino vivatta chando dhammesu vasi paragu anejo sankhara nirodha jnana kusalo sammaso loke paribbacheya. A conqueror of purity with veiled, removed, matter in things experienced, gone beyond, unmoved, skilled in the knowledge of cessation of fabrications, he would fare rightly in the world. Atitesu anagatesu chapi kappatthito aticca suddhi panyo sabbāyatanehi vippamutto sabba sammaso loke parippajeya. Upon things that have passed and those not yet come, not building up, having passed beyond through pure wisdom, being completely released from the sense faculties, he would fare rightly in the world. Anyaya padang samecca dhammang vivatta disvana pahana masavanang sabbupadinang parikkayano sammaso loke paribbajeya. Knowing the path, understanding the Dhamma, seeing the abandonment of taints, with destruction of all appropriations, he would fare rightly in the world. Addahi bhagava tateva etang yoso evang vihari danto bhikkhu sabba samyojaniye cha viticca ta sammaso loke paribhajayati. Certainly indeed, O Blessed One, that is just so. Whatever monk lives controlled in that way and has gone beyond all things that fetter, he would fare rightly in the world. Sabbiya Sutta, number 3. Sabbiya. Kanki vechikichi agamang panyang pucchitung abinkamano te santa karo bavahi panyehi me putta anupuppa anudamma vyakarohi me. Spurred by doubt and worry I have come, all anxious to ask questions. Make an end to them when asked by me. Gradually and accordingly explain them all. Durato agato si sabiyo panyeha pucchitu abhikanka mano te santakaro bhavami putto anupubbang anudamma vyakaro hite. From far indeed you have come, O Sabbiya, all anxious to ask questions. I'll make end to them when asked by you. Gradually and accordingly I'll make them all plain. Pucchamang Sabbiya panyahang yang mang kinchi manasikanchitsa tassa tasseva panyhassa ahang antang karomi teti. Ask questions of me, O Sabbiya, whatever you are having in mind. To each one of your questions, I'll make an end for you. King patita mahu bhikkhu nang soratang kena katancha datta mahu buddhati katang paucchati putta me bhagava vyakarohi. One with what attainments do they call a bhikkhu? By what the gentle one, and how again a tamed one, an awakened one? How is one so called? When asked by me, O Blessed One, explain them all. Pajjena katena attana parinibbagato vitinna kanka vibhavancha bhavancha vippahaya vusitava kina punabba vosa bhikkhu. On self-trodden path, gone to extinction, crossed over doubt, with unbeing and being well abandoned, he, the Master, with reborning, exhausted, is a bhikkhu. Sabbatta upekka satima na so hinsati kanchi sabba loke tinna samano anavilo ussada yassana santi soratoso. Everywhere equanimous and mindful, he does not harm anyone in the world wide. He, the recluse, having crossed and being unperturbed, the one who has no prominences, is the gentle one. Yasindriyani bhagitani ajjattang bahiddacha sabba loke nibbajja imang parancha lokang kalang kankati bhavito sa danto. He whose faculties are cultivated internally and externally, everywhere in the whole wide world, he, having pierced this world and the next, abides the time well cultivated. That one is the tamed one. Kapani vichaya kevalani sansarang ubayang chatuppatang vigata raja manganang visuddhang pattang jatikkaya tamahu buddhanti. He who has expired the kalpas entirely, the cursing on both in dissolution and re-evolution, dust free, unblemished and pure, reach to the destruction of birth, they call an awakened one. King pattina mahu brahmanang samanang kena katancha nahata koti nagoti katang pachuchyati putto me bhagava vyakarohi. One, with what attainments do they call a brahmana? By what a recluse, and how again a washed one? A naga, how is one so called? When asked by me, O Blessed One, explain them all. Bahitva sabbapani vimalo sadhu samahito tittata sansara maticcha kevaliso asito thadi pauchyate brahma. Having pushed out all evil things, being stainless, well composed, of steadfast self, pass beyond the cursing on he is complete, such a one, not being stuck, is indeed a brahmana. Samithavi pahaya panyapapang virajo nyatva imang parancha lokang jati maranang upatitta vatta samano thadi pauchyate tattha. Being calmed, having abandoned good and evil, free of dust, having known this world and the next, gone quite beyond birth and death, such a one is called a recluse because of such a fact. Ninhaya sabba papakani ajjattang bahiddacha sabba loke deva manusesu kappiyesu kappang neti tamahu nahata koti. Having washed away all evil things internally and externally in the world wide, among gods and men who put things into classes, he does not enter any of those classes. Him they call a washed one. Agumna karoti kinchi loke sabba sangyoge visajja bandhanani sabbattana sajjati vimutta nago tadi pauchyate tattati. He does not commit any crime in the world, having let go all fetters and bonds. Nowhere does he get stuck, being free. Such a one is called a naga because of such a fact. Agumna karoti kinchi loke sabba sangyoge visajja bandhanani sabbattana sajjati vimutta nago tadi pauchyate tattati. Whom do the awakened ones call a field conqueror? By what a skillful one, and how again a wise one? How is one called by the name Muni? When asked by me, O Blessed One, explain them all. Kang ketta jinang vadanti buddha kusalang kena katancha panditoti muninama katang pauchyati puttame bhagava vyakarohi. Having conquered the fields entirely, the divine, the human and the Brahman field, released from bondage to the root of all fields, such a one is called a field conqueror because of such fact. Kettani viveyya kevalani dibbang manu sakancha brahma kettang sabba kettang mula bandhana pamutta ketta jino thadi pauchyate tattha. Having explored the sheaths entirely, the divine, the human and the Brahmana sheath, released from bondage to the root of all sheaths. He is called a skillful one because of such fact. Kosani viveyya kevalani dibbang manu sakancha brahma kosang sabba kosa mula bandhana pamutta kusalo tadi paucchate tatatta. Having explored both fields, internally and externally being one of clear understanding, having transcended black and white, such a one is called a wise one because of such fact. Tadubayani viveyya pandarani ajjattang bahiddacha sudha deepa panyo kanhang sukha pati vanta pandidoti tadi paucchate tatatta. Having known the Dhamma of both the bad and the good, internally and externally in the whole wide world, he is worthy of veneration by gods and men. Having gone forth beyond the trap and the net, he is the Muni. Asatancha satancha nyatva dhammang ajjattang bahiddacha sabba loke deva manussesi pujaniyo sangang jala maticcha so muniti. King patitta mahu vedagung anuviditang kena katancha virya vati ajaniyo kinti nama hoti puttho me bhagava vyakarohi. One with what attainments do they call a law accomplisher? By what a prober, and how again a vigorous one? How indeed is one a thoroughbred? When asked by me, O Blessed One, explain them all. Vedanani vichayya kevalani samananang yani gatanti brahmanang sabba vedanasu vitarago sabbang veda maticcha veda guso. Having explored all laws entirely, those of recluses as well as those of brahmanas, free of lust regarding all feelings, having gone beyond all law, he is a law accomplisher. Anuviccha papancha nama rupang ajjattang bahiddacha roga moolang sabba roga moola bandhana pamutta anuvidito thadi paucchate tatatta. Having probed into the expanse that is name and matter, internally and externally the root of disease, released from bondage to the root of all disease, such a one is called a proper because of such fact. Virato ida sabba papa kehi niraya dukkha maticcha viryavaso so viryava padanava dhiro tadi paucchate tatatta. With no more delight of evil things, gone beyond the suffering of hell, he is a vigorous one. Being vigorous and strenuous, such a one is called a vigorous fighter because of such a fact. Yassassalu lutani bandhanani ajjattang bahiddacha sangamulang sabba sangamula bandhana pamutta ajaniyo tadi paucchate tatattati. With no more delight over for evil things, gone beyond the suffering of hell, he is a vigorous one. Being vigorous and strenuous, such a one is called a vigorous fighter because of such fact. For whom bondages have been cut away for good, internally and externally the root of the trap, released from the bondage to the root of the trap, such a one is called a thoroughbred because of such fact. King patitta namahu sottiyang aryankena katanchi charanavati paribhajako kitti nama hoti puttho me bhagava vyakarohi. One with what attainments do they call a learner? By what is a one noble, and how again one with conduct? How indeed is a one a wanderer? When asked by me, O Blessed One, explain them all. Sutva sabba dhammang abhinyaya loke savajja navajja yataddi kinchi Abibung akatang kating vimuttang anigang sabbadimahu sottiyati. Having cut all taints and attachments, being one who knows he does not go to a womb bed. That one who has dispelled the mire of the threefold perception and does not enter into the classable, they call a noble. Jetva asavani alayani vidvasona upeti gabbaseyang sanyang tividang panujja pankang kappang neti tamahu ariyoti. He who has attained to completion in conducts, he skillfully on every occasion knows the Dhamma, nowhere does he get stuck, being free. The one for whom there are no resistances, he is one with conduct. Yo ida charanesu pattani patta kusalo sabbada ajani dhammang sabbattana sajjati vimutto patiga yassana santi charanavaso. Dukkha veppakang yadatti kammang uddamado tiryanchapi vajje paribhajayitva parinchachari mayang manamatopi lodha kodang paryanta makasi nama rupang tang paribhaja kamahahu pantipattanti. Whatever action that is ripening in suffering, whether in the upper world below, between, or in the middle, he is a avoider of that, faring with full knowledge of deceit and conceit as well as of greed and anger. He has made an end to the name and matter. That one they call a wanderer, attained to completion. Yanicha tini yanicha satti samanappavada sithani bhuripanya sanyankara sanya nisitani osaranani vinaya ogantamaga. The 3 and the 60 sticky views of the recluses, O great wise man, which are dependent upon perception with labels and terms. Having dispelled all those common view points, he came to the end of the flood. Antagusi paragu dukkhassa arahasi samma sambuddho kinasavang tang manye jutima mutima pahuta panyo dukkhassa kara atarasimang. You have gone to the end, to the other side of suffering. You are a worthy one, a fully awakened one, with taints exhausted, so I think. O bright and thoughtful one of brood wisdom, you who have put an end to suffering, you took me across. Yang me kankita manyahasi vichikicha mang tarai namote muni mona patesu patitta patta akila adicca bandhu soratosi. Whatever hesitation in me you came to know of, whatever doubt you made me cross, homage be to you, you Muni, attained to completion in the way of silence, you kingsman of the sun, free of barness, you are the gentleman. Yame kankapure asi tang me vyakasi chakuma adda munisa sambuddho natti nivarana tava. Whatever hesitation I had before, that the one with eyes explained to me. Indeed, you are a Muni, self-awakened. There are no hindrances for you. Upayasacha te sabbe viddha satta vinila katha. Siti bhuto dampa matta ditima sacha nikkamo. All harassments you had have been shattered and obliterated. You have become cool, completely tamed, resolute, wielding your strength upon truth. තස්සතේ නාග නාගස්ස මහාවීරස්ස වාසතෝ සබ්බේ දේවානුමෝදන්ති උබෝ නාර පබ්බතා. When you, Naga among Nagas, great hero, speak, all gods rejoice, those of both Narada hills. Namote Purisajanya, Namote Purisuttama, Sadeva Kasming Lokasming Nattite Patipuggalo. Homage to you, thoroughbred among men, homage to you, you man supreme. In the world with these gods, there is no person to equal you. Tuang Buddho Tuang Satta, Tuang Mara Vibhu Muni, Tuang Anusaye Chetva, Tinno Tare Simang Pajang. You are the awakened one, the teacher, the Muni who overcomes Mara. You, having cut the tendencies, having crossed, and you being these people, you bring these peoples across. Upadite samatikkanta, asavate padalita, si hosi anupadano, abhina bayaberavo. You have overcome all appropriations. You have burst asunder all taints. You are a lion, free of clinging, with fear and trembling left behind. Pundarikang yatha vaggu to ye na upalippati, evang punyecha papecha ubaye twang na lippasi, pade vira pasarehi sabyo vandati sattunoti. Just as a beautiful white lotus does not get touched in the water, so in good and evil, in these two, you do not get touched. Stretch forth your feet, O hero. Sabya pays respect to the teacher. End of Sabya Sutta.